Oh my god, Octane's gonna shut him down. It's a double kill for Jim.
Oh my god, Jim!
Jim! Pretty good. It's gonna be a triple kill. Jim comes on fire. Jim comes on fire.
Angle, but couldn't land the shot. The dart goes to 2-piece. Oh my god!
Cada equipo ahí contesta trató de darle ese respetazo ahí, consigue eliminar a Pelusa y rápido se voltea y
Sempre destaque na marotagem. Belo ângulo dele. For him, he's gonna be able to take out. Oh my god! Oh no! He was down to 1 second on the clock.
Já pegou bala na cara do Master. O Almairinho vai tentando fazer o primeiro. Vai tentar o tiro porrada e bomba! Vem! Clutch muito difícil de vencer, mas...
Anywhere on the body that you hit, he no-scoped from Balo right there. He no-scoped!
termina eliminando a Jack y igual queda solamente vivo por parte de repente consigue la primera baja de este Sam, se da cuenta que no puede
Welcome, everybody. We are back. Mobile Mayhem week number 3 is here. We're in the process of getting Day's actual face. As you can see, we currently have a OBS logo. So hopefully that will get replaced soon.
As soon as it detects my camera, I will make that happen.
All right. Love to see it. We have some fantastic matchups for you guys. Definitely looking forward to those. We'll go ahead and take a look at our schedule real quick. As you guys are going to see right here, matchup number 1, definitely going to be a good one. 11T versus F4, F4 being one of the new teams on the block. After that, we got Vitro versus Nova Invictus, followed by Exiled versus Shreddit, and last but not least, my favorite matchup for the night, we are going to have Trovo Mayhem versus Zygnus Esports. So, definitely a lot to look forward to tonight. We'll take a look at the standings real quick as well. As you guys can see right here, Tribe Gaming made their way up to the top. The reigning champions doing pretty well this season, followed by Zygnus Black. So apparently multiple Zygnus teams being formed right now. From what I'm being told, I believe we actually have a combination of NL Esports and Zygnus. So I think it is partially underage players and partially champs players. So I'm not sure which is which. I would assume Zygnus Esports is probably the champs team. And Day, you might have information on that, but we will have to wait and see.
Well, my understanding of it is that Zygnus Esport is NL, which will be their champs team, and Zygnus Black is the existing Zygnus as we have known them for the first couple weeks of the season. So,
all right. Well, definitely sounds fun. For people asking where Ferg is, the answer is Ireland. Thank you for asking. We do have all of our players loaded in. We got Day loaded in. We might actually be able to get started pretty soon. We'll go ahead, take a look at the maps and the bands right here. As you guys will see, we do have bans on the HVK and the QQ9. Obviously, the Man of War full-time ban, not too surprising to see the QQ9 ban right there. As most people would agree, it is by far the strongest gun in the game. We're going to have Hackney Yard Hardpoint for game number 1, Raid, Search, and Destroy for game number 2. If we go to a game 3, we're going to have Standoff Domination, and as far as the map bans go, we have 11D banning Domination on Hackney Yard, and F4 banning Domination on Summit. So once again, very interesting choice of bans with teams electing to ban Domination maps.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, has always been if you're the substantially unfavored team, and looking at these two teams, you definitely expect 11T with the performance that they've had so far this season to probably win 2-0. I mean, if F4 just miraculously pulled together a consistent lineup between the team. I mean, again, we have several players that have done well for this team, specifically looking at AO Raf has done pretty solid in several of the appearances. Minwoo as well has been a pretty solid player. But the rest of the team, kind of one player will have a good game here and then do bad the next game. And you know, it's not to, again, not to discredit anybody, but if they all show up and they all have a good day and 11T sleeps on them, there's absolutely a world where this could potentially go to a game 3. But overall, I think to get to a game 3, you would have been stronger on the side of F4, banning something probably against 11T, a search and destroy map that you see 11T really kind of excel in. Meltdown being one of those maps. This is a roster that is absolutely not shy of running submachine guns, and even had several players doing so prior to this season, where we've had kind of a big shift in some of the strengths of the weapons, as well as obviously some rule changes. So Meltdown's a pretty comfortable map for this team in that they have a strong sniper presence and a strong close range presence. That's maybe the way I would have leaned, but these are the pro players. I'm just here watching. So
yeah, it is interesting, especially given the fact that I don't think F4 has won a map so far this season, so you would think they would typically try to get every advantage they possibly can. But we'll have to wait and see. We do have everybody loaded in and ready to go for game number 1, so we're going to go ahead and hop into that. We do have everybody on Hardpoint Raid right here, and we actually already see the PP-19 Bison, newest gun in the game, already in action. Quite a few 11D players using it, which is interesting. I did not think it would be a gun that a lot of players would end up using, since it doesn't have a crazy fast time to kill, but obviously that 64-round base mag is a pretty nice thing to have, and right off the bat, we see Yuji going in. 3 kills on the board. It is pretty low recoil, so it can be a little bit more versatile in mid to long range situations. And I just actually realized we have the return of Fusion, Truly, or formerly with Truly, so I'm definitely excited to see him making his return to Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And, you know, again, we see it right now for the side of 11D. Several players opting to have a run and gun play style with the submachine guns. Also, Minwoo and Raph as well. I mean, is this the PP-19?
Yeah.
And it's just for some reason coming up as the SMGA?
Yeah, I have no idea why it's showing up as SMGA. I think it's actually shown multiple SMGs as that, so I'm not sure what the deal is right now. But yeah, it is the PP-19.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
I get it. Because most of the time we don't get the actual names for the guns, and most of the time we get knockoff names.
Right. So, you know, just was trying to check and make sure, but, you know, so far actually a pretty even start, which is not entirely common for this map. I mean, the first hardpoint is generally one that we consider this map to be a pretty easy one-side hold, as opposed to, you know, in the past, we've obviously seen Crash, where teams don't really fight too much over the first hard point, and things of that nature. So, pretty even game off the first hard point, but so far, moving on to P2, we have a little bit of a lead developing for the side of 11D. We did have a slight break for the side of F4 there, but once again, kind of fighting over the scrap time, the last, you know, 8 points. Probably not the most ideal for them. I would have liked to see them advance a little bit further ahead in the match. Maybe go set up at garage, get the cars blown up so that you have safe head glitches or cover to sit behind. And instead, they may have just given more of an edge over to 11T for fighting over just trickle points.
Yeah, definitely a little bit less than ideal for them. You can see they're trying to get the breakthrough, sending smokes through that mid-garage area as they do try to get the push. And I did not know that that was a hop-up, but that's actually a nice little spot. We do see them sliding in by the Lambos right there. Fusion, Raph, Minwoo making their way in. Zai actually forgetting to switch up score streaks. That could end up costing them, as obviously no cluster or pred missile equipment. You also got to make sure you don't accidentally click something you didn't mean to. Zai finding a few frags right there. Moving up into the double digits, as do Just and Yuji. Nobody quite making it into that area so far for F4, and probably part of the reason that we're seeing the score the way that it is. Currently 11T doubling up on them as they do get the rest of the scrap time on this hill, and now pushing out to make the rotation. Actually, 3 PP-19s in play. I was not expecting that at all. So it looks like right now primarily the PP-19 and the DRH. So not even seeing any QXRs, which typically we see a decent amount of. And we'll see if this continues in the search and destroy. But right now, these guys are just absolutely shredding with it, especially Wally. 13 right here, not missing a shot. Picks up number 14 as well. And it's finally Ingenic taking him out on the top side.
Yeah, and it's been primarily a 11T control of this game, but we are seeing a much better rotation coming out of the side of F4 this time around. I think they did a better job at making the rotation over to basketball court, and it seems to be working out for them, as they've actually had a pretty sizable hold here. We do have Yuji rounding the corner there, is going to pick up a kill, and Zai with a big triple kill down on point. And I know you'd already pointed out, Bobby, that Zai forgetting to change the score streaks, probably feeling it a little bit right now, being up at 18 kills on the board. Minwoo and Raph, the 2 players that I said to watch out for here on the side of F4, are keeping up quite well. But the rest of the team definitely struggling a little bit down below. Ingenic at 11, Dylan at 4, Fusion at 7. Meanwhile, over on the side of 11T, the only player not in double digits, and as I say that, they cross crossed that mark was Danny Gogu. So, which I believe is also a new player to 11T. So,
Yeah.
and maybe the admins can correct me, but I believe this is our last week before rosters are locked for the season. Again, maybe the admins will let us know on that, just because that'll be interesting information to know. Looking forward to our matchups next week, but 11T are once again in control, Bobby.
Yeah, they're looking good so far, maintaining that 50-point lead. Looks like they're going to be able to get a little bit of scrap time right here, as we do have a couple final players moving up from that pool side. And like you mentioned, pretty good output from the top players for F4 right now, but Dylan and Fusion both really struggle, especially Dylan. To only have 5 kills on the first full rotation through the hard point's not a great spot to be. We do see the contest going in on the point. That nice thing about the PP19, you got 64 shots, so if you miss the first few, you don't really have to worry all that much about the reload. And we do see them getting the initial push up onto the hill. It's actually F4 with control for the time being, and as you can see from Minwoo, you can basically pre-fire as much as you want to with this gun. Throw the nade to the top side. That is perfect placement, and not quite going to land the kill, but it'll prevent Just from getting that power control up top. He can now make the rotation on through. And I didn't think that he got spotted, but Minwoo lasering 19 kills on the board for him right now. And it looks like F4 is going to be able to close the gap a little bit. Got it down to 30 right here. They're making the early rotation while they pick up the scrap time as well. And pretty much everybody's set up in the mid area. Not a whole lot of players placed out to try to hold the surrounding area. But Yuji and Zai get a big feed right there. Definitely a much needed triple to make this hold a little bit easier for 11T.
Yeah, it's actually a much more even matchup than I would have expected, but honestly, Raid has been that way a lot for Hardpoint, specifically with the changes. Again, I think there's a overcorrection on this map specifically, as well as I know you've mentioned in the past, Bobby, that Hardpoint Crash is like unplayable-ish right now. So, you know, this is definitely a map that the underdogs, I think, have a little bit more of a chance on it. We've seen it several times, specifically looking at Garage and Basketball Court, where you can lose a gunfight as a team and still essentially respawn and have another fight instantly. So it gives you a second opportunity to retake and catch the opposing team off guard, and it's definitely come through and it seemed to help them out in this matchup. So we'll have to see as it develops on. Minwoo actually picks up a pretty key kill as he was just making a rotation through, but you know, once again, I would have liked to see F4 make a little bit earlier of a rotation over to the Garage. We did have Ingenic in, but lost the fight to Yuji, as well as Fusion gets dropped by Just. As you can see, Ingenic not spawning too far away from the hardpoint, though, in a pretty decent spot. And 11T are filling up the feed right now.
I'm pretty impressed with F4, to be honest, that they've been able to keep this game as close as it is. I can't talk. As close as it is, given what the scoreboard looks like right now. We still got Dylan with 11 and Fusion with 10. We don't have anybody, I mean, outside of Danny, we don't have anybody below 27 over on 11. So for this to only be a 40-point game, and just a second ago it was only a 20-point game, F4 definitely outperforming the scoreboard right now, and if they can get this early rotation over to Basketball Court, could come very close to actually tying things up. Obviously, that's not a very easy hold, especially given that Basketball Courts are some of the most chaotic ones, with players spawning up top, players spawning on basically the opposite side of the wall. It's not going to be an easy hold, but they definitely have a really good setup for it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. 11T are starting to close in, but this is a point that went heavily in favor of F4 last time around, so we'll have to see if they're able to close the gap here. We did have Yuji pick up a double kill with the Predator missile there, and on these hard points that are pretty openly exposed, this is where your Cluster Strike and your Pred missile are going to have the most impact. Ingenic actually doing a great job holding down the hard point there just before we did have a break for 11T. As you can see, Ingenic was able to spawn and had sights onto the hard point, picked up a kill pretty much immediately, finds another one onto Zai. Definitely a player that has struggled in the previous weeks, coming through and being a major asset to this F4 team. And Jenik did pick up 1 kill and a major assist there, and it's once again F4 on the point, closing the gap little by little. This is now just about a 45-point game. And both of these teams are approaching a situation where they can officially win on a single full hard point. Obviously, Levity are much closer with only 31 points to go. But again, F4 doing a great job not making it easy for Levity.
Yep, they were able to get the lead down to about 40 points once again, but you can see 3 players set up. This is typically one of the more difficult spots to break just because of how many different corners people can be hiding in. But just as I say that, F4 slides right in, immediately gets the break. The nade comes over top for Danny, and pretty much perfect timing for him. We do have Just now moving into 40 kills on the board. And it looks like 11D finally able to get the break back onto the hill to be able to close this one out in the win, 250 to 198, but definitely a lot closer than I would say most people expected it to be. F4 has struggled a lot so far this season, so given that, definitely big props to them for being able to run this as close as they did with a team like 11D.
Yeah, I mean, again, leading into today, I definitely expected this to be a 2-0, and with 11T being typically a stronger search and destroy team, I still feel that's going to be the outcome, but F4 did put up a really good fight here up against 11T. Minwoo, once again, being one of the stronger players on the team, 29, 29, and 8, in something we expected to be a much more one-sided matchup. As well, 2 minutes and 3 seconds hardpoint time for him as well, so not even like he was really avoiding the gunfights. As well, Raf 31 and 36. Definitely saw Dylan and Fusion struggle here on this side, though. 16 and 37 and 14 and 33 for them. Overall, on the side of 11T, though, everybody positive with the exception of Danny, who, I mean, still not even that negative, 21 and 23. But the likes of UG being plus 17, Just plus 18, Wally plus 15, and Zai being at plus 15 as well. You're really kind of almost more surprised that it was as close as it was with numbers like that on the board.
Honestly, if this was hardpoint on the old spawns, I think F4 would have won this. Because, like, if you look at the kill disparity, looking at Fusion, minus 19, like you said, Dylan, minus 19, Ingenic, minus 8, Raf, minus 5. Minwoo is the only one that's not negative there. Like, if you play out a raid hardpoint where it's much less dependent on you winning specific gunfights and more dependent on proper rotations, map control, and everything else, I think F4 probably would have won that one. But
yeah, I'm just checking in on something with the admin at this point.
we'll see how that plays out in the search and destroy. Obviously, F4 looking a lot stronger. Trucker with the cash bang. I appreciate it. Can we get some dodo hype in chat? I want to take a look at the standings. Yeah, F4 has not won a map yet, so for them to play it that close with 11T, definitely really, really solid for them and a good side of improvement. We do have raid, search, and destroy coming up next. Wait, do we have 2 straight raids?
That's what we're trying to figure out currently.
Oh, it was supposed to be Hardpoint Hackney. Okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out, Bobby.
All right. Zim, #1 admin. Raid, search, and destroy coming up next.
This has never happened with B being in charge, Zim. You gotta step it up.
BBB. Bring back B. It happened season 1. I don't remember it.
So ultimately, Zim, what is the play here? What do we do? I mean, are we replaying on Hackney Yard or
Raid S&D? Nothing happened. This is all exactly as planned, and
simulation.
Raid, search, and destroy will be starting momentarily.
To be fair, none of the players said anything either.
True. True. All right. Well, back-to-back raids. You love to see it.
Definitely a interesting way to start the day, but we'll get there, guys. Don't you worry. It's gonna be a exciting matchup between 11T and F4 in what I expect to be a little bit more of how this map is intended to be played out. It being search and destroy, will obviously have the controlled respawns on each round. Wonder if Raph is actually going to use the M4.
I've got a feeling it's probably a speed boost class, but you never know.
I also have that feeling, but you know, I guess we will see. It looks like 11T are essentially potentially all out full send on the PP19, but we'll have to see. Actually, it does look like we have Zai switched over to a sniper and just maybe using more than a speed class. He might actually be just straight rocking an AR here. We'll have to see. But so far, no first blood for either team.
I was really not expecting this many players to use the PP19, but we got 6 on the field right now. Could very well end up being one of those guns that we start to see being banned, especially over guns like the HVK, which we've seen banned in this matchup. We do see 4 Curves making the push on up. He's got the Locust in hand, just awaiting them on the backside of basketball courts. Actually peeked the corner right there. Not able to hit the kill shot onto Curves. One player down for 11T as F4 going to get the push on into the site. Danny's up in top of Kitchen. Zai waiting down there with the sniper. I'm not really sure how Curves didn't manage to see him right there, but still alive, and he ends up getting the kill shot anyway. Beautiful quick scope. Now making the reposition over into the pool. Not going to be able to land shots onto Wally. Couple frags go in. It's going to be a 2v2 right here as Wally does end up finding a crucial one. Picks up the enemy sniper. I'm not sure if that's allowed. Is it?
It is allowed if your sniper is dead.
Okay.
You can't have 2 snipers simultaneously.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. He's going to try to push in, gets the initial kill with the PP19, slides back out, very nearly clutched the 1v2. Didn't have a whole lot of time to work with either way. He gets taken out, and F4 takes round number 1.
Yeah, F4 with a big performance there, and Minwoo doing a great job just playing the objective at that point. He knew he had the time, he knew Wally was damaged, chose to take in, go ahead for the gunfight, and was able to win it pretty solid.
I accidentally left the Colt.
And Wally has opened us up with first blood here. Make it 2, make it 3. Wally's going crazy right now. Might even be able to find a 4th. Oh my goodness.
Dude, chill.
I heard before the broadcast that this gun wasn't good. It does not seem that way.
It's not that the gun's not good. It just doesn't have a crazy fast time to kill. So I didn't expect to see a whole lot of use for it. But obviously the combination of the low recoil, the big magazine size, and the gun's consistency is working out for a lot of these players so far, as we see Wally up at 6 kills on the board already.
Well, the water gun was pretty strong in Modern Warfare 3, and it appears to be strong in COD Mobile as well. Curves does find a big kill onto Zai there. Taking out the opposition sniper is a pretty good way for your sniper to start out in this 1 versus 1. Or 1-2-1, I should say, as far as the score goes. Zai still the only one dead. We do have Just playing the head glitch over the bomb right now. Minwoo might get a good rotation in. He is going to find it. Picks up 1 kill there. Dylan finds Wally as well. And what we expected to be not great for the side of F4 is looking pretty solid for them right now. It's a tie game. They do have the bomb planted. They have a 4 versus 2 player advantage with only 30-ish seconds left on the clock. pretty sure this is going to be a 2-1 lead for the side of F4. Shy of, honestly, Yuji or Danny pulling out a miracle here.
Yeah, they definitely have the odds stacked against them. Yuji's going to find the frag onto Dylan right there. Only 15 seconds to work with. They've got to act fast. We see Minwoo peeking the head glitch right there. And right now, Ingenic just basically has to sit behind the wall, wait for Yuji to push. If Yuji pushes, Yuji dies. So he does get the initial kill, but obviously not enough time to get him to use right here. Even if he takes out curves, which he won't be able to do. It looks like it will be around going in for F4, and they're looking stronger and stronger by the round. Minwoo having a big performance so far, already 5 kills on the board. And Wrath, definitely not one to count out, even though he doesn't have a kill on the board yet. He's been one of their more consistent players. So based on the way things are going right now, the way they played in Hardpoint, I'd say F4 has a good shot at pushing this to a Game 3. Obviously, you still got a long way to go, but they look a lot more confident right now than they have in past games.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think one of the big things for 11T is we're missing our kind of key search and destroy player for this lineup. That being, we are missing Wiru. So, you know, that could be kind of playing a part of it. Now, I mean, again, even without Wiru, looking at the 11T lineup, I absolutely still would have thought coming into today that 11T were probably walking away search and destroy like 6-1, 6-2. So F4 are doing great right now. I mean, I really can't complain. Their rotations on offense are actually pretty solid as a team. So I have to see if it's able to work out for them. We do have 11T adapting a little bit more to the push that was coming out of F4, and Wally is going to find the kill on Ingenic there. It's now a 4 versus 2, and Dylan unable to find the bullets to connect. Do have a disconnect from Danny there. I don't know if he was AFK or what.
Somebody just left for 11D. I think it was Danny.
Yeah, that was Danny, yep.
Dang. Well, now it's definitely looking like we could end up having a game number 3, as we do have 2 players remaining, make it 1 player remaining for F4 is Dylan. Gonna have to try to clutch up right here. Might be able to get the hop up into red. He has the shots onto Wally, gets the kill. Gets the kill onto Just as well. It's now in a 1v1, but Yuji has the positioning. Able to clutch up right there and avoid disaster, but don't know how long they're going to be able to avoid that, especially down a player against an F4 team that's looking really good so far.
Yeah, so far that has been the case, and 11T are able to come back there in that round, especially being down a player, is really big for them, but it could definitely be the deciding factor, or one of the factors of us going to potentially a Game 3, is we do have Raph picking up a kill onto Just there. That turns an already bad situation for 11T, who are in a 4 versus 5, into a 3 versus 5, so you definitely would expect F4 to be able to pull together a 3rd round win here, but Wally picks 2 off the laser beam that is the PP-19 here, the infamous water gun, but unable to pull through. Still a 2 versus 2. Zai with another trade as Dylan picks up Yuji. It's now Zai versus Raph. Can Zai find the kill and the defuse here in 10 seconds? It's hard to say. Keeps playing on the bomb. I think Raph has done just a great job playing time, and Raph is going to secure the round win.
He couldn't have played that any better. He just zigzag, 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 hide behind a head glitch, zigzag, zigzag, run outside the wall, win the round. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I played it to perfection. Yes, he may have abused the movement glitch, but at the end of the day, it's in the game. People are going to use it, and that is going to be another round going in for F4 right there. Wally doing everything that he possibly can for 11T right here. He's got 10 kills.
But it's not enough, Bobby.
It's not enough. I mean, obviously we got a ways to go, but F4 looking very solid right now. Zai, however, gonna pick up the first blood right there. 4 kills on the board for him. Now making the push on into Kitchen. Oh, he saw his shoulder right there. Not able to get the kill shot. The nade gonna do some big damage. 13 HP remaining for Zai right here. He's gonna have to hold the doorway with his teammate, and basically all of F4 up at the top. with the exception of a couple players over on basketball court. Dylan trying to get eyes on somebody. Zai's actually going to peek the angle. Dylan somehow gets through unscathed. He pulls out the ASM, not able to land the initial shots. Wally waiting around the corner, misses a couple there too. Gave away too much information, just like that. 11T back at a 3v3. Wally, I think he was going for a wallbang right there. I don't think you can wallbang that wall with an SMG. I could be mistaken. We'll see. Maybe he could prove me wrong right there, and Wally is going to get taken out by Ingenic, so it's going to be just all by himself right here. 3 kills on the board. Not a whole lot of time to work with. The bomb is down, and unfortunate timing for Minwoo as he tries to cross as soon as Just makes his way down the stairs. We're now in a 1v1, but not a whole lot of time. Ingenic, I don't know why he was that far off the head glitch, but still manages to win the round, and now F4 only 2 rounds away from pushing us to a game number 3.
Yeah, definitely looking like that's going to be the case for F4 here. They're looking good as a team here today, as well as 11T being down a player is a huge detriment to them, especially with essentially the player that they're currently down being Weir, one of the star search and destroy players in the league, in my opinion. So we'll have to see in the future if we'll have a return of him. As well as we'll have to see what happens to 11T should we go to a game 3 here. Will they be able to field a 5th player for their roster, or are we going to see them potentially in a 4 versus 5 for domination, which even if you have what we would normally consider to be the stronger team in a objective holding map, not really the most ideal situation to be in. It's a much bigger disadvantage than being down a player in search and destroy. We do have about a minute left on the clock. We have Wally with the bomb, and we've actually had 11T clear everybody out except for Minwoo. So Wally is going to get the free plant here. The 13 kills for him, 7 kills for Yuji is, I mean, honestly, it's only 4 kills shy of what the entire F4 lineup has. So they're in a good spot for this round, but again, it's going to be a hard-fought comeback. They need to pick up 4 rounds, and really can't afford to make even the slightest mistake in the upcoming rounds, because if they're able to if they give up 2, it's going to be F4 pushing us to a game 3. Oh no, Wally, he's so low, go!
If Minwoo just doesn't jump right there and slides to the corner, I think he actually stands a shot at winning that, but he gave away a little bit too much time, and Wally's just not going to miss those shots. I don't think he even meant to hit the shot. I think he panic hit the shoot button, and it ended up being a headshot, no scope. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. So we do have 11T clutching up the round right there, and we do have all players alive for both teams, at least in regards to players that are actually in the game right now. We do see 11T now pushing the B site. Looks like a pretty easy B plant. F4 is playing this extremely passive, both on offense and on defense. We saw multiple situations on offense where their players were camping spawn on offense. That's something that we'll occasionally see on defense, but I don't think I've ever seen that strategy on offense, and yet somehow it's been working for him so far. Ingenic going to be able to take out Just right there. Now a 5v3, the 5-man retake going in right here. Yuji on the back side tries to get the flank, not going to be able to make it happen. Zai's all by himself. He's surrounded by a bunch of SMGs. A lot of missed shots going in right here. A very nearly missed opportunity. It was a little bit of a potato fest, but fortunately his teammate able to get the defuse right there. And now F4 1 round away from pushing us to a game 3.
Yeah, it looks like potentially could be the case. Again, 11T, between Wally and Yuji, doing absolutely great, have almost as many kills as the entire side of F4. But again, being down a player is definitely a big handicap for them right now. They're really in a pinch at this point. I mean, this is almost certainly, with the way F4 are playing today, looking like it's going to a game 3. Again, you'd like to see 11T have a 5th for the essentially going to be a domination matchup here next, as we do have a 3 versus 2. Just has the bomb, and Yuji is alive as well, but with Wally and Zai down, not looking great for the side of 11T. And I believe, I'll have to double check my points here, but I don't think F4 have actually picked up a map win yet. So this might be a first map win for the side of F4. That is correct. F4 essentially going to be picking up their first map win here. And again, they looked good in a hardpoint today as well. We do have just finding the kill on to Curves, as well as we have the rotation out of 11T making their way over to B. I think Just is going to get essentially a free bomb plant here, and it may extend it a little bit, but again, this is 3 rounds that 4 players need to pull off against a full squad. So still anybody's game, but still also very in the favor of F4 currently. Especially with Just rotating right into bullets there. I'm not sure what that was about, but that is going to leave it just up to Yuji, who is going to lose the gunfight to Angenic, and that's going to be a game 3 forced by F4 here.
Oh, some body shoot. That's a bold move. It's one thing to shoot somebody's body whenever you win like a 5v5, but I don't know how I feel about shooting somebody's body when they have a player disconnected in round number 3. I don't know if that's the move right there.
Yeah, not great, but you know, I guess we'll see as we get into this next matchup. Again, at this point, we're just hoping that we have 11T able to field a full roster for our final game of the series.
Yeah, I think that they probably will. I think that was probably just a random internet issue if I had to guess right there. But obviously, Wally having a solid performance. Nobody for 11T having a bad performance, but whenever you're down a player, that's just the nature of things. And we do see Ingenic, Minwoo, Raph. F4 definitely had a solid game as well, but not really anything that you would consider to be shocking, especially with the player advantage for the majority of the time. So we'll see what the next matchup has for us, but definitely going to be a fun third game to watch. Anytime you got body shooting at the end of game number 2, game 3 is always going to be fun.
Yeah, it does look like 11T have Danny back in voice, so hopefully they'll get him for a game 5, as they do have looks like everybody back there. So you know, hopefully we'll be getting in here shortly. Again, 11T did win the hardpoint matchup, but it was much closer than we anticipated. So as we move forward, you know, maybe it's just taken F4 a couple weeks to really get the new roster flowing. Again, a lot of new names that we didn't really know coming into this season overall. Definitely have a couple players that have shined for this roster, you know, specifically looking at the likes of Minwoo has been a reoccurring strong player for this team, as well as Ao Raf, who, you know, Minwoo 9-6-2 in that last game. 6-7-1 for Raf, and Ingenic, who has definitely struggled in the previous games that we've seen him in, came through big for the team. 7-7-4, top scoring for the team at least. But you know, again, it's kind of hard to say in what was a 4 versus 5 for a majority of the game. And with 11T again, hopefully being able to field a full roster here. I don't know. We have several players of 11T have left. I'm not sure quite what's going on yet. Maybe the admins will let us know, but
I don't know. Also, what was the? I feel like we had 2-minute rounds in that search and destroy. Am I tripping on that? Nope. We definitely had 2-minute rounds there. So, admins, potential additional administrative glitch. I was like, wow, this feels like a really long round, and I kept.
I didn't want to throw Zim under the bus again, but yeah, chat. If you want to take it out on anybody, Zim is your man.
Yep. Come get your boy, chat. Hey, I'm just trying to make sure everything runs properly. My gosh, why is my computer lagging? Holy crap.
Yo,
I
that
don't
sounds
know,
like the story of my life right now, dude.
I don't know if it's looking like that for everybody else, but on my screen, everything is like 30 FPS. No, less than 30 FPS. It's like 12 FPS. I don't know what the deal is, but
I'll tell you what, the new setup looking pretty crisp over there, though. I like
thank
it.
you. Yeah, it's I didn't even get a new camera. Everybody keeps asking if I got a new camera. It's just that there's like actually depth to my surroundings now, so you can actually tell that I have a nice camera, which definitely is ideal. And the lighting's a little bit better too. Got some fancy pants lights.
Definitely looks better than just a flat white wall.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I agree. I don't know what is lagging my device right now. It's my entire computer.
Time for a new one, bud. Time for a new one.
Yes. Time to run a dual PC setup for mobile games. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call overkill.
Yep. It's amazing how quick you can spend money on a computer, though. I'll tell you that right now.
True.
We've it's much later than I anticipated, but you know, again, I was hoping by the beginning of March my new PC would be built. But it's looking like I'm gonna start that build in about 2 weeks, and I'm just like kind of clicking, adding stuff to the cart right now, and I'm like, man, this is getting expensive, you know.
It'd be that way. So I'm at 35% CPU usage, 40% memory usage, and my mouse can't even move in a straight line right now. This is very interesting.
Control Alt Delete. See what you're running at. It sounds like
No, I
potentially
just checked. That's what I'm running at. Like there's no usage.
not like bottlenecks on your memory or anything.
No, it's at 40% memory usage.
Interesting.
Who
If you want a
knows?
justification on how much my computer is dying, I literally have Discord and OBS running, and we're rocking a solid 86% of my memory right now.
Yeah, I've got 8 Chrome tabs. OBS Studio is doing the majority of it, but I don't know. Maybe I need to take it out of studio mode or something else. Hopefully it's. I don't think it's impacting the stream. No, maybe it is impacting the stream.
It is definitely a little choppy on the stream.
Sick, dude. Well, it looks smooth on Trovo. Oh, now I'm seeing the lag. All right, sick. Well, sorry, chat. Hopefully it fixes itself eventually. No idea what's happening. Anyways, we'll
Yikes.
lag. We've got all of our 11D players back in the lobby. Oh my gosh. Shnikes. Sorry, guys.
It's actually not even 1 FPS. It's just frozen.
Oh gosh. Well, hopefully it fixes itself whenever we get back to the game.
Maybe we lagged hard enough that Zim didn't get roasted. Oh, never mind. I see Zim getting roasted. Never mind. Zim, you only had one job.
Well, chat says the audio is really nice, so we got that going, you know?
Hey, heck yeah, we've got audio. Nice. Gotta love it.
Let me close every tab that I possibly can, except for we'll even pop out chat, so I don't even have a real Chrome tab open. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna do anything, but you never know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. People in chat keep saying refresh, it's working, and I'm gonna be honest, that is a lie.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Oh, it looks like it cleared up now, though.
Well, I guess I just need to close out Chrome completely.
Oh, hey, Zim, in his ultimate wisdom, wants me to let you know to look at the Discord chat.
Yes, I will indeed do that. I have looked, and I have seen.
Oh, and it's dying again.
I am doing. Son of a mother. Well, it will be 100% solidified momentarily.
Cool.
Stress.
Would like that to be a thing.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We are, I think, good to go for game number 3, which is going to be standoff domination.
I mean, who knows at this point, right? Like, with Zim, it's always a surprise.
True. Can never trust that guy.
I didn't even notice. Do we have a full roster for 11T? It looks like we are waiting for more to load in. Okay, cool. So, looks like we have picked up Diego for the side of 11T.
Zim just said starting a TDM right now.
All right, heck yeah. Not even the right game mode would be nice. Could be a TDM to like 500 too on shipment.
All right, guys. I think we're good to go. I'm seeing 60 FPS everywhere. Imagine one day there's streaming platforms that support 120 FPS. Oh, that'd be so beautiful.
I mean, how much can your eyes really tell past that?
Past 120 or past 60?
Past 60.
I tell a buttload. What? It's crazy different, huh? Day, have you ever played video games on 120 FPS?
No.
Well, that's the reason that you're saying that then. It is.
I might have to.
It is very significantly. Well, I guess.
When I get the when I get
right?
well when I get the new computer. Well, I've
yeah.
always had a PC too, but this computer is 8 years old, right? And it was
probably
it was
doesn't
a
run
solid
120 FPS very well.
Yeah, it was a solid computer 8 years ago. But you know, nowadays it's just dying.
Yeah.
I've replaced the memory a couple times, but something's wrong with the motherboard. It just literally keeps killing memory. So I started looking at, you know, updating the motherboard, updating the graphics card, and then getting new memory. And I'm like, man, I'm halfway to a new computer. Let's just do it, you know. But we are into this game, and we had actually a triple cap there momentarily for the side of F4. We did have C flip back to 11T there pretty early on, but a slight lead developing so far for F4. I would consider this to be definitely a bit of an upset if F4 were coming through with a win here.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, they've been playing good today. And I said it right at the beginning. F4 has had moments where these players have been able to shine, and if they bring their A game and 11T doesn't, they absolutely have a chance. And right now it's looking incredibly possible, Bobby.
Yeah, Ingenic is frying off the start. 7 kills already. The double cap, it was a triple cap for a second right there. We saw the attempted flip go in for 11D, and it backfired big time, as I think they only had 1 kill off the start for the first 30 seconds or so. They're finally able to pick up a few right now, but between Raph and Ingenic, they're just not really able to touch anything. Zai finally able to win a crucial gunfight right there, trying to avoid some of those score streaks. It looks like Raph's only 60 points away from a cluster strike. That would be huge. We'll see if he's able to secure that right here, as we do see a big feed going on in for 11D, and Raph challenges but doesn't want to overextend, as he's still in search of that cluster strike. Just wants one angle and seeing if he can capitalize on it, and he's finally able to do so. That's 8 kills and a cluster strike for him, and even though they do give up the B cap right there, that's definitely going to be a game changer for them.
Yeah, absolutely. 11T have time on the board to come back in the first half. They're only down just a little under 20 points right now, about 18, 17 points. So still very doable for the side of F4 if they're able to get things back in their favor. But again, I would expect 11T to really step it up here. I mean, it would be a pretty massive upset for the team that is in 5th place to lose for the team that is in dead last. So, you know, F4 getting some points on the board here today. 11T, again, fighting to try to get their 15 instead of 5. But at every step of the way, F4 have made this increasingly difficult for the side of 11T, who 11T has actually filled up the feed there quite a bit. I think the past like 7 or 8 kills were 11T at that point, but
I mean, right now all the kills are going in for 11D. They started out, they had nobody above 3 while there were multiple F4 players with 7 kills, and just like that, they've now got 3 players in double digits, and they are just continuing to tear up the feed right now. We see Ingenic finding 1 frag, but for the most part, the feed looking very 11T oriented. See Wally sliding in on the backside. He gets a double kill onto Dylan and Ingenic. He's going to be able to tick the A flag back down to 0 and calling in a Pred missile as well. That should be an easy double for him. Continuing to stack those up. He's now got a cluster strike, and we do see him running the VTOL. Like we said, not really an ideal option just because you have to use more points if you do want a shot at cycling your score streak. So we'll see if that comes back to bite him in the butt. Still now 525 points, just away from resetting things, and could very nearly be all the way back to a Pred missile had he run some different score streaks. But he's going to maintain the double cap for the time being, and 11T has turned this one around in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, they go into the second half with about a 10-point lead. So it's not by any means a comfortable situation for them, especially having them been triple capped at the beginning by this team. The hard point was pretty close down to the wire, so I'm going to still throw it out here as anybody's game. I mean, again, big comeback for 11T, but they haven't won it yet. They need to keep this momentum moving forward. So far, it looks to be the case.
That was a pretty solid feed, I would say.
Roll
the cluster.
through the feed, but
definitely a clutch cluster strike right there, but
Even
with that going in, I don't think I've seen F4 win a gunfight. Oh my Wally. Oh my Wally. What in the world am I watching? He is tearing this team apart. 23 kills. He accidentally called in the VTOL. He meant to call the cluster strike and he accidentally called in the VTOL. And that is why you should not use the VTOL, and you should probably instead
use the care package like I've told you all to do many times.
You can leave. Oh, pain. Wow, that is, I mean, I can't even unspectate him right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to have to get a ruling from admin on this. I mean, if he doesn't shoot it and doesn't get any kills, do we let it go? I mean, do we have to call him on it? I mean, what's going on here, admin? Let me know.
Oh, they have to DQ. Wow.
Oh, yeah, he has full vision of the map. You're correct. That is,
wow.
Yep. I mean, if only these players would have taken my advice early on when I was like, don't be a dum-dum.
Guys, listen today. He knows best. Oh, that's just painful.
I knew.
To get a VTOL with no operator, and no persistence, and then you get DQ'd because you used it. Oh my gosh, that's so difficult to even achieve, let alone have that achievement ruin your game. That's just got to be so painful.
That's definitely pretty rough. But I mean, you know, we called that this was going to be an issue right from the beginning. This is why we've made note to tell players to take off the operators, take off score streaks that are one-click use. I've even, you know, ragged on people for using UAV. You hit that button, and that's going to be it for your team for that round. So, you know, we're obviously going to go ahead and finish watching out the play. Right now, it is a triple cap for 11T, but unfortunately for 11T, that is going to be a 2-1 victories for the side of F4. F4 have picked up their first win of the season, and I mean, even DQ aside, right? Like the hard point, they put up a great fight. Again, it's kind of hard to argue the search and destroy. We didn't have Weira, which is the top player for 11T, but that's really on 11T for having your players show up on the days that you need them. Obviously, things come up, no big deal. But playing down a man when we had the disconnect out of Danny, hard to say how the second half of the search and destroy would have turned out. But again, even here in the domination, F4 put up a great fight in the first half, and 11T just started to take it away.
Yeah, I mean, 11T held the triple cap. Like, once Wally got back from his VTOL, 11T held the triple cap for the majority of that second half, and obviously a very different, I'm sorry, I guess it's a very different second half than we had for our first half, but unfortunately for 11T, the accidental VTOL call-in is going to cost them big time.
Yeah, unfortunately for 11T. You hate to see it, Bobby. You absolutely hate to see it. A no persistence earned VTOL for Wally that cost them the game. So, again, care package, if you click it, you have to pull it out and target where to throw it first. It's also less point difference for cycling your score streaks. So any of you pros out there listening, I've said it before, and thankfully or unthankfully, whichever way you look at it, someone has proven why this is a good idea. So, again, I would definitely recommend throwing the care package on there. It's just an extra safety precaution. It's something that you can't accidentally one-click DQ yourself. And that is going to be the end of our matchup between F4 and 11T for the night.
Yep. For those of you, because I see some people in chat who are confused about what just happened. So, for score streaks, for Mobile Mayhem, the only score streaks that are allowed are Pred missiles and cluster strikes. These are rules
Player voted.
that are player voted. We don't make these rules. That this is what the players have decided on. For that reason specifically, we typically recommend that players use a care package for a number of reasons. Number one, it means that you don't have to cycle additional points. So we see some players, definitely more toward the beginning of the season, where the players would equip the VTOL, which I understand, like, the base level reasoning. You don't want to have, like... You want something that you're less likely to accidentally click on, so... Obviously, throw on a VTOL, it's not super likely that you're going to get a VTOL. But the thing is, that means you have to get more points in the case that you continue to cycle your streaks, as opposed to a care package, which it requires 2 steps in order to actually activate it. So you could do care package. You could also do a shield turret. That would also be like a very easy substitution where there's multiple steps to activate it, and it doesn't cost more than a cluster strike, so you're not going to have to worry about having to cycle streaks or whatever that would be. We saw Wally equipping the VTOL. Even though he didn't use the VTOL, you still have full view of the map, and even though he probably wasn't capitalizing on it, it still does give an advantage to the team that activates it, and because of that, we do have to DQ 11T for that game, and that means F4 is going to get
It was essentially a UAV, right? Like that's...
like you can see everything on the map, so... we don't know. He could have very well not given those callouts, but it doesn't matter because you can't run on an honor system, and just because of that, we do have to DQ 11D, and F4 gets their first match of the season.
I mean, again, they put up a good fight either way, right? Yeah. Like F4, they put in the work in hardpoint. It had a very, very close matchup. Even before we had the disconnect for 11T, it was looking pretty even in the search and destroy. So hard to say what happened there, but first half of domination, they put up a great fight. This is a team that has improved from the first week till now. So, definitely a team I want to keep an eye out for as we move on into the future.
And chat, you can complain about Mobile Mayhem rules as much as you want to, but the only people that you're complaining to are the players that are playing in the games right now and broke the rules that they voted to make. So you complain as much as you want to, but the players are the only ones that you can really bring it up to at this point. It is what it is, and interested to see how that'll impact our standings. As we do see F4, I see them at 5 points right now. I think they should be at 15 if I'm not mistaken, right?
They should be at 15, correct.
Okay, so that may just be something we're waiting to see an update on. We'll have 11T gaining 5 points, and I believe they have already gotten their 5 points, so that moves them up to 40 points to tie with Cygnus Black and Shreddit, who are both still yet to play tonight. Next matchup is going to be Nova Invictus versus Vitro. And I believe...
Oh, man, what a just disappointing way to end that series. Unfortunate.
Chat, it doesn't matter whether or not they were losing. It doesn't matter whether or not the VTOL helped them. They broke the rules. You break the rules, you get DQ'd. That's just the way that it works. I'm sorry.
Break the rules and Zim breaks your kneecaps.
Exactly. Like we've had people accidentally emote at the start of a game when they were inside garage on raid. Break the rules. It doesn't matter if it impacts the game or not. The rules are the rules. If we start making exceptions and everything gets exceptions and then people get arguing about whether or not this deserves an exception or that deserves an exception, just don't give it exceptions. Everybody follows the rules. You're good to go. Nice and easy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, again, it's an unfortunate way for 11T to go down in that matchup, but they have plenty of games left in the season where I still absolutely expect to see 11T go into at least the quarterfinal. They're a strong team. They have a really strong roster for this season, and overall, I don't think this matchup here is really going to hurt them.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see moving forward what we're going to get out of that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and run through the maps and the bans for the next matchup. Are these updated? Oh yeah, I guess it is updated. Okay, so we're actually supposed to be playing Raid Hardpoint for game number 1, so keep that in mind. Game number 2 is going to be Firing Range, Search, and Destroy. If we go to a game 3, it will be Hackney Yard, Domination. The same weapons banned for this one, the HVK and the QQ9. Could very well see a whole lot more PP19s in play as far as each team's bans. We do have Vitro banning Hardpoint on Summit and Nova Invictus banning Hardpoint on Firing Range. So both of those definitely making a little bit more sense. Definitely going to impact the flow of the game and trying to target each of the opposing teams' strategies. Definitely makes sense that Nova Invictus would ban Firing Range Hardpoint, especially given that that's one of the ones that probably is least impacted by the new spawns and would potentially cause more of an issue for them. So I feel like Raid Hardpoint is very, very much more oriented toward individual gun skill, where I would say Nova Invictus definitely has the advantage.
Oh, I'm just making sure, Zim. I was just double checking there, bud. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Bobby. I mean, you definitely think that Nova are going to have the advantage coming into this matchup. I mean, leading into today, Invictus was tied for 4th with 35, and Vitro, same kind of boat as F4 was. So, I mean, this is almost like literally a mirror matchup as far as what we just had. It was 11T at 35 versus F4 with 0. It's now Invictus with 35 versus Vitro who had 0. But I'm going to be honest, this Vitro roster, despite being down at 0, has had some really interesting matchups. I mean, there's definitely players on this team that you have to look out for. Specifically looking, Tomb has been a pretty solid player for this team. We've seen Speed have some up and down games. We've seen Scott had some up and down games. It's a lot really boiling down to consistency for this roster. I mean, again, Tomb, probably the most consistent player on the team, does quite well in Hardpoint as well as Search and Destroy. So it's kind of a gamble here, but again, F4, we would not have expected to win that last matchup. And, even though you could say, well, 11T technically won, F4 put up a much bigger fight than I thought they would. And, the same can be said about Vitro in some of their matchups that we saw them play last week. I didn't expect them to have as close as they did of the 2-0 victories that their opponents had at the time. And right now, I believe we're actually overall up kills and score for Vitro.
Yep, this is, they looked really good off the start, especially Parallel. 5 kills right now is, he's going to be able to get some scrap time right here as well. It is going to be Image I'm assuming that's the coach for Nova Invictus. We have not seen him before, but his username is Coach Image, so I guess making his first appearance in Mobile Mayhem. We do have Nova Invictus set up on P2 right here, so looking to turn things around. Still not getting a ton of output from Image and Parrish so far. We've actually seen Parrish a little bit sluggish throughout the first few games of the season. Not quite the same output as we saw from him last season, so we'll see if he can start to pick things up.
I actually have his numbers pulled up. So in the first hardpoint for Parrish, we did see him at 29 and 28 with 15 assists. Moving into the second week, 33, 32, and 16 assists. And then they had a bye last week. So, again, he was one of the more deciding factors for Nova in the last season. Putting up big numbers this season, but, you know, again, a lot of depths there as well. And I think a lot of this back and forth is due to several of the changes both in the rule set as well as hardpoint is just a little bit more unpredictable than it has been in the past. So still a lot of season ahead of us. Overall, Parrish has struggled a little bit in Search and Destroy as well, but definitely a player that we know has the gun skill and can be a carry for this Nova roster. And, you know, really has an opportunity to step it up here. It's kind of amazing, Bobby, that as much of the PP19 as we saw in the first matchup, we have 0 of it going on right now. So definitely a pretty big shift, but this is why you take care of the environmentals in Garage before you make that rotation over there, because a double kill going over to Coach Image there as the Lambo blowing up picks up 2.
Yeah, and we do see the lead now building for Nova Invictus, so able to build a pretty significant amount since P1 is... What Parallel still having a really solid game, but not quite as much production from the remaining players. Do see Envy and Desi both moving into double digits, and already 3 players set up for the rotation over to basketball court. I think 1 player actually might be able to make it in from top side. We do see Vade back there. He was one of the better performers for them, especially in Thursday's games, but not quite able to break out so far. Parallel in the top side, able to get another frag right there, and some good value for them, but just not enough to make the break. And on a hard point like basketball court, where there are constantly people spawning on that bottom side, and it's like you're playing zombies effectively, it's a really tough break to get, but somehow Parallel able to do it. Pulls out the deagle. He's continuing to fry. Doesn't even have his primary out anymore. 17 kills on the board for him, and he's single-handedly keeping Vitro in this game right now as he wins gunfight after gunfight.
Yeah, on our Tuesday matchups of last week, they did drop 37 kills for 29 deaths with 13 assists, and that was up against the Trovo Mayhem. So another roster that has struggled a bit this season, specifically I think with the player synergy, but gunfights that by no means were necessarily easy to win. So definitely a player to keep an eye out for. Has crossed into double digits, but as you've mentioned several times at this point, Parallel really just rocking it. Top fragging currently, has taken my advice, put the care package on, has the Pred missile as well. So we'll have to see if that's going to come in now. It does look like that's going to be the case. Does pick up a single kill onto Desi. Was looking like potentially a triple there, but cover was found. Finds another kill onto Band. Might find another one as well. Finds the assist onto Coach Image before getting dropped. And much closer of a game than I would have anticipated. I mean, we're only about 25 points between these two teams. Currently, Nova do have control of P5. So we will have to see if there's any break that's going to get made by the side of Vitro here. As we mentioned, we already did have the Predator missile used by Parallel. Not really sure why Speed has a Goliath just like randomly in the middle of his score streaks, but I mean, hey, I guess
it's effectively the same as care package, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're not wrong.
Because
I mean,
doesn't cost any more than a cluster strike.
Yeah, that is true, and it is not something that you can accidentally one-tap yourself into a DQ.
Yep, we do see Nova Invictus getting control back on P1 again as they are starting to get more of the gunfights going their way. Scott finally able to win one from Top Laundry right there. He's got that AK-117 in hand, but Parrish waiting for him on the bottom side. Now 15 kills on the board for him. Parallel right now doing everything he possibly can. Top fragging for the game by a pretty significant margin, but they just haven't quite been able to make the rotations, or when they haven't really been able to get effective holds. And we can see he's already setting up right here, trying to keep anyone from rotating from Top Laundry's side. But so far, Nova Invictus has been really good in their gunfights. He's going to win that one with 1 HP. And they are set up really well for Kitchen right here. So we'll see if this can be the hard point that Vitro needs in order to turn this around. Obviously, still not going to be an easy hold by any means. He sees the trophy system go out. He knows that's going to be an easy kill. Gets the major assist. Gets the points for holding down the hill. Only 180 points off of his Pred missile. We do have one player rotating through that backside. Players dropping left and right. Band's going to slide in. No streaks for Parallel. And yet another broken hard point for Vitro.
Yeah, Vitro, we're looking really good early on, but it is definitely starting to turn quite a bit into Nova's favor. Parallel still absolutely rocking it. 30 kills on the board, +5 over Band. Another one of those kind of star players for the side of Nova in previous seasons. Band was able to get himself a cluster strike before he died there, so we'll have to see where he ends up using that. There's a lot of opportunity, I think, depending on how the tide of this game goes. Obviously, we're getting ready to move over into the garage. I very much would expect, with basically Nova having to hold essentially an entire hardpoint uncontested. I mean, there is a couple second window where they have some cushion, but a cluster would be something absolutely great for him to use at basketball court. So I would like to see him save it for that. You definitely could use it here for some sort of zoning, but you got to make the break first before that's even a capability. So we'll have to see what pulls out here. Band looking for the kills, sees two members damaged over on the backside of Van, does find the push coming in for him. It's now Vade alone on point. So great hold at the beginning there for the side of Vitro. They were able to take enough time off the board that Nova can't win off of this hard point. But again, the cluster strike for Band being held for basketball court is very likely what's going to seal the deal. I mean, that's like a solid 10 seconds of pain that can come out from the side of Nova. And with basketball court being primarily open and the spawns the way they are, it's going to make it really difficult for Vitro to push down in and try to get into that little weight room in the corner for cover. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Vitro about 90 points away from picking up a win, so the better part of 2 full hard points. And there is the cluster strike coming out of Band. We'll have to see what it's going to pick up. We do have a trophy destroyed. I think the cluster was put a bit at the top of the hill. I don't like that. I would have liked to see that dropped essentially right on the hard point. Again, it's so open that it very easily could have led to a take for the side of Nova, but it looks like they found a majority of a take anyway. Several players spawning for Nova on the bottom side of hardpoint, and Vitro all spawning up at the top. This is still anybody's game, but Vitro have to make a play. There's enough time on the board for Nova to pick up a win here. The stall is coming through. They found enough. They found a break to prevent the win, but it's still an uphill battle from here on out as Nova once again makes the break. Band absolutely rocking it. Picks up a triple kill there, putting him up to 34 kills. And now just 7 points away from a win. This is certainly looking like Nova are going to walk away with it.
Yeah, Vade's going to get knocked off the hard point right there. Only 7 seconds needed. Sped, Parallel finding a few crucial frags. Parrish going to go ahead and slide on. Get a couple seconds right there. He's going to get taken off. And we see Vitro keeping things alive about as long as they possibly can. Winning actually a few gunfights right here. Scott and Tomb finding a few frags and starting to pick things up a little bit. If they can get a full hold right here and an early rotation back to P1, they might stand a chance. they're winning pretty much every gunfight I'm seeing so far. We got Parallel almost at 40 kills right here. Not able to win that one, but teammate gets the refrag. Tomb with a double. Vade finds one as well. Nova Invictus not really winning any of their gunfights right now. Vade gonna spot one player on the inside, and we do see a big streak going in. A very solid feed for Nova Invictus. It looks like they could potentially win it on this one. Tomb, Scott both jumping in. They both get eliminated as well, and just enough time. Envy and Decipher with a couple crucial frags at the end right there, and that's going to be enough to secure the win on P5 and get Nova Invictus game number 1.
Yeah, really, really big performance from Band, but you absolutely cannot sleep on the performance that Parallel had in that game. Definitely put up a much bigger fight. Then again, Vitro have had their like windows of, looking like a good team, even where they've struggled a little bit with the synergy. So I'm glad to see them coming together a bit more in the previous couple of days of the season. Parallel up at 39, 31, and 11 as the only, well, I guess Vade was 25 and 24, but essentially the only like real positive player on the side of Vitro up 8. Vade was +1. But looking over at the side of Nova, I mean, Band +8 at 36 and 28. Desi 39 and 32, Envy 33, 25. Coach Image, new player for the side of Nova, definitely struggled a little bit in that matchup. He actually found a majority of his kills in the first like minute and a half of the game. I think he had 7, and then ended with 11. So rough game for the side of Coach Image. It looks like they have fixed the button that actually has the point breakdown. So I gotta say, I love it, COD Mobile. Thank you for fixing that.
Definitely a important one to have. And apologies, I keep forgetting to switch. Day, if you would like to return to us your face, that would be fantastic. There he is. We are getting ready to hop into game number 2. It's going to be firing range, search and destroy. What time is it? 8:30?
Felt like we had a really long first.
Yeah,
first match.
a little bit long in the first one, but hopefully we'll be able to get things squared away, get our players ready for game number 2. Obviously, you don't have to worry about any accidental operators or score streaks resulting in a DQ, so we'll see how these two teams match up against each other. Obviously, Vitro, once again, having a very solid performance against a really good team in Nova Invictus and showing out a lot more than they had in some of their first games. So it is good to see some of these newer teams having some big performances and showing a sizable amount of improvement. Always a good thing for the competitive scene of Call of Duty Mobile, and especially as we do start to move toward the $2 million COD Mobile Championship. That's something that we expect to see more and more, as you would really like to have a really solid top 8 teams that are going to battle it out for each of the regions. We are pretty close to getting things started right here. I apologize, chat. I have allergies, so my throat is scratchy, so I have like a little bit of a cough, and then that combined with the fact that my house is full of paint fumes, just not great for my throat, but we're going to power through and cast the crap out of some mobile mayhem, as we just need a couple players ready up. Vague, thank you for all the elixir. What happened to you not having enough money to renew your sub? What's the dealio? I don't understand. I'm Confucian. Might need to get some water after this one.
Definitely been a day, Bobby, but you know, we're getting there as we get ready to move into our second matchup between these two teams. We will be on I sent them to Zim a second ago. Firing range, search and destroy. So again, hopefully we'll see a pretty solid matchup between these two teams. Vitro have really stepped it up the previous couple days of the season, and we'll have to see how that translates over into Search and Destroy. Just kind of running down kind of the top players that we've had for Vitro in Search and Destroy. We'd be looking at on our first day, which was Thursday the 8th. Team struggled across the board. Pretty much everybody 1-6 or 2-6. The only player with an assist having been Tomb. As we went into Tuesday on week 2, we did have a much better performance out of this team. Scott pulled together 5-6. Vade struggled a little bit, 4-8. Speed 4-6. Parallel 5-6. Tomb was able to drop 10-8 for that matchup. So again, Tomb definitely a solid player for Vitro to keep an eye out on. And then once again on Thursday of last week, Tomb 8-6, Parallel 2-7, Speed 7-8, Vade 4-8, and Scott 3-6. So again, a little bit of that inconsistency in Search and Destroy specifically. Tomb has been pretty solid across the board for the team, and we'll have to see what they're able to pull together here up against a. Again, this is, I think personally, one of the stronger lineups in the league. I'm actually surprised, or in the season, I'm surprised that they've been down in 4th place as long as they have been. But obviously, there's still a lot of season ahead of us as well.
And Image is in chat right now, and he just said, "I'm sorry, I haven't played COD Mobile since Wild Rift came out. Forgive me." Understandable. You gotta do what you gotta do, You come in. Ultimately, your team just needed somebody to hop on the hill, and that's what you did. So we'll see how that trend. I guess you'll probably be the bomb planter in Search and Destroy.
And just to be clear for you here, Image, if you've watched any of Mobile Mayhem, I'm a numbers guy. I point these kind of things out, and I'm not trying to talk trash to anybody. Everybody has good games. Everybody has bad games. Again, there's a lot of season ahead of us. We expect big things out of you guys. Nova's been doing great. So,
good news, chat. The Hornets are winning by 6 points at half. Claps in chat. Anyway, we are just waiting for one more player to ready up, and we'll be good to go for game number 2. I think one of our Discord channels might be bugging out a little bit, so just give us a second here, and we'll be good to go. We do have a couple more matchups tonight that we'll be getting to in a little bit. So after this, we got Exiled versus Shreddit, and following that one, definitely the matchup of the night, Trovo Mayhem versus Zygnus Esports. Definitely going to be a spicy one. Zygnus Esports is former NL, correct?
Zygnus Esports is NL, and Zygnus Black is Zygnus.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. Well, that's definitely going to make for a really fun matchup. Obviously, a lot of OG players between those two teams. Trovo Mayhem not having quite the start this season that they would have liked to, so we'll see if they can break through and get a big win up against Zygnus. But I think we do have everybody readied up and hopefully good to go for game 2.
We're just waiting, having a apparently a bug difficulty according to the admins, so as soon as we get that sorted out, we will get you guys into this game. Again, leading into today, would have expected Nova to pull a clean 2-0 out here, but that first matchup was not clean by any means. I mean, everybody positive for the most part on the side of Nova, but again, Vitro put up a phenomenal fight compared to what we expected to see out of them, and we will have to see how this is going to play out for Search and Destroy. Looks like we may have to get a reconnect here, as that bug may be playing a little bit of a part into that player not loading in. So, again, hopefully we will get there soon.
Chat, don't you just love like the crispiness of the focus on my thumbs up? Whoa, it's unzooming, resuming. Wait, face. is... Wait. There we go. Well, now we just have 2 players sitting in the lobby. Apparently, they don't know how to leave the lobby. There we go. That's what we needed.
Oh, I gotta leave too. Cool.
Chat. The Hornets have been winning games, and they only have like 4 healthy players. I'm not exaggerating when I say literally half of their roster is injured. Literally. But you know what? They're going to make the playoffs, and that's all that matters, because I can't remember the last time the Hornets made the playoffs.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Also, this is not sponsored, but I am incredibly impressed by the Logitech Superlight mouse. This thing I charged for like 30 minutes before I moved into the house last Wednesday. I have not charged it since then, and it is still running at full capacity.
That's your mouse?
Yep. Wireless, obviously.
Well, I mean, I imagine so if you charged it.
Yeah, well, I just didn't sound very impressed, so I felt like I needed to say that. We do have band.
Well, I was just clarifying that it was a mouse, not a headset or something. So
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
headset being on like every day that Bobby streams seems a little iffy, but I just making the connection, you know?
Yep. We do have Sped taking out Band right there. Parrish has picked up the sniper. The bomb is down over on A. Sped on the hop up, not quite able to get the kill shots. We do see the hit marker. Decipher does manage to clean that one up. Vade going to be the last one remaining right here. The slide peek from him. Clean. Can he get the final shots? He runs out of ammo right there. Somehow still alive. Repeaks it. Coach Image looking a little bit rusty. The 4-piece for Vade. He's going to close out the round right there and give the lead to Vitro 1-0.
Yeah, Vitro coming through, specifically Vade with a really, really big round there. Clutching up for the team where they needed him the most, honestly. And it does look like we have our times sorted out. Looks like we got Zim over here learning things. So 90-second rounds for Search and Destroy here. Coach Image actually picks up the kill onto Vade there. Desi with a ginormous triple kill. Absolutely huge. You got to imagine this one's going to be going the way of Nova this time around. They have bombed down, and Speed being the only player remaining and having a sniper in hand. While you'd like to say that is pretty decent odds, I'm going to say this one's going to be a little bit more difficult than he wants it to be.
Yeah, he's trying to find an angle. The Cypher's up in top 10, so you can potentially find the pick, but more than likely, if he gets one, everybody else is just going to find a quarter to sit in until he makes that push over toward the bomb. And being, ooh, nice shot on Desi actually right there. Not going to be enough to get the kill shot. Band, did Band 360 out of top 10? I didn't see his POV, but I was watching Sped watch him, and I'm pretty sure he 360'd that. I'm going to need that clip on Twitter if that actually happened, please. Thank you.
Were you spectating, or was it just like on a map you seen him spinning around?
No, like I watched Sped watch him jump out of top 10, and it looked like he did a 360.
But was he the one to get the kill? I mean, did we get a trick shot happen in the league?
I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% positive, but that's what it looked like. I really hope he was recording.
Well, this round is all Nova, as Speed is the only one left. Just kidding, lied to you. Parrish is going to pick up the kill there. That's going to be a 2-1 lead now for the side of Nova, who are looking pretty solid. I mean, even in that first round, it was, I mean, it was very close. I mean, shy of Vade, just madman clutching. That looked like it was going in favor of Nova as well. So we'll have to see as the game moves on. Band with just a quick scope coming out, walks out of the smoke, finds a kill onto Scott there. We do have a side bomb plant coming out of the side of Vitro.
Did you see Envy just kind of like walk past Vade and not realize that he was planting the bomb right there? that was
Actually, didn't. I didn't. I was spectating Band at the time. So
yeah,
that's,
he was just
pretty
over
mini.
on the side of the bomb, and he casually ran into trailer without seeing what was happening. But definitely a weird plan going in. Sped's gonna get taken out by Band. Envy gonna I mean, round one looked pretty good for for Vitro, but ever since then, it
Not
has been
really.
all-
I mean, it was
yeah.
Vade versus 4. It wasn't looking
True.
good.
True.
But
Fair point. Yeah, and I guess outside of Vade, they have a total of 2 kills on the board. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that this is the way it's looking right now.
Okay, so chat is roasting me to say sped, not speed. So we'll go with sped, even though I hate it. Okay, chat, I hear you.
You
and
don't
I
get to
will-
choose his name. He picks his own name. What do you mean you hate it?
I hate that I have to pronounce it that way. It feels so wrong. I just saw it on the replay, by the way. There definitely was a 360, but I'm gonna be honest with you. He stopped. He landed. He stopped. I'm not calling that a trick shot. As someone,
okay, you gotta
as
take
someone
into
with
account there's
thousands
like a
of
lot.
hours on terminal
There's a lot of delay in
mobile, the
in
desync,
mobile,
yeah.
so there's a chance that it looked very different from his perspective, but I don't know. Somebody clip it.
And until I see his perspective, I'm not calling that one a trick shot. There, not a chance.
Fair point.
Scott picks up a key double kill there. Tomb as well finds a kill. And just like that, it's now Envy versus the world. He finds one through the wall there, picks up Vade. He's looking for a couple more. He's sitting at about half health right now. He doesn't really have the time or the health, and that is going to be a second round now going over to the side of Vitro. And Vade, great first round. Not a whole lot going on for him since, but still leading the team in kills. Scott really kind of clutching up there. I don't know if you see all of this going on okay, it fixed itself. That was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen on Envy's screen.
I don't know what happened on Envy's screen, but I saw Ban try to push up solo onto A, and there was an entire Vitro team waiting for him, counter pushed, and it actually works to get them the first blood right there. So we see Sped picking up the snipe. We actually have an advantage for them once again. Could potentially tie things up despite their struggles so far. And had he timed that wallbang a little bit better, could have potentially had a third kill for the team, and his teammate's actually going to find that. Envy still alive right here, tries to hit the hop snipe, nobody waiting on the other side. A 2-man advantage for Vitro right here, Sped on the inside, sniper in hand, trying to find the angle. I think Envy saw somebody crossing over right there, but he's going to opt for the bomb plant right here as Sped moving toward the outside of American, and still not quite able to spot Envy right here. It looks like he's got the positioning to be able to do so, and Envy has a DRH to work with as well, but obviously now that he is down to the last man alive, not going to be easy to clutch, and Parallel finds a nice 2-piece there to close things out. Just like that, we are tied up at 3-3.
Yeah, it is a pretty back and forth match. I mean, the first 4 rounds really looked great for Invictus, but Vitro have found the past 2 rounds, and as you mentioned, tied it up. Vade, that big clutch that he had in the first round, really pulling through together for the team, helping them out right now. But again, we haven't seen a ton out of him as of the past couple. Parallel finds a kill. Scott finds a kill as well. Parallel finds another, and Tomb picks up Envy, and just like that, it's a 4 versus 1. Bam does get a kill onto Sped there. It is now a little bit more manageable, but a 1 versus 3, still not ideal for the side of Nova. Could potentially have Vitro push us to a game 3 if they're able to close this out. They need 2 more rounds, and Nova falling apart a little bit. I mean, the numbers look great for the side of Nova, but the past couple rounds have just all swung in favor of Vitro.
Yeah, this is definitely not what I was expecting to see. As it looks like we are going to have an advantage for Nova actually this time. I thought we were actually going to have Vitro finding first blood again. A couple players drop. Parrish not having a whole lot of success over the past few days, but we do have Decipher and Envy finding a few frags right there. Also, Splinter, I know that HVK is not banned in this series, but to be fair, in defense of chat, in the
graphic was wrong.
Yeah, the graphic said that the HVK was banned, so that's why chat thinks.
That's why I put it in chat to clarify it, because I have.
So what is banned?
The QQ9 and the PP19.
Ah, okay, so that's why we don't have any PP19. That makes a little bit more sense. I kind of figured eventually we would see people banning that. Okay.
Yeah, I did look after I'd asked earlier when I had mentioned, hey, in the first matchup we saw a lot of it, and now we see none. And I checked the bans down, and I was like, oh, this makes sense.
All right, we do have Nova Invictus winning a much-needed round right there. They're going to go ahead and retreat. Couple frags going in. Trades as Decipher is just coming in clutch, especially in the late game right here. We do have Envy not able to land a shot. Sped actually gets a two-piece right there. Parrish able to trade for Parallel. It's a 1v2. We do have the bomb going down over onto the B site. And...
yeah, Splinter, I posted it. That's how she has it, by the way. But
oh, wait, no.
Everybody was asking in chat, that's why.
I think Parrish has to go get the bomb.
Parrish indeed does need to either find both kills or get the bomb. And he's not going to find Sped, who finds the kill. And that's now a 5-4 lead. Wait, why are you blaming me, Splinter? This isn't my fault.
Yeah, I don't know who runs cartography, but whoever runs cartography, it's your fault. So if I had to guess, probably Zim, but who knows?
It would be par for the course for it to be Zim's fault today. Oh man, we are just throwing Zim under the bus.
And Zim, you're the official scapegoat for today, and it's okay. He said jumping off a bridge.
Oh man.
Wow. Things not looking too great for Vitro right here, as they'd like to be able to close this one out. Tomb still alive. Parrish, oh, he's dead. Oh, hello. Nice to see you. I'm going to go ahead and pick up that frag. And ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to be moving into a round 11.
I'll tell you what, right now, Bobby, if you would have told me prior to this match that we would be in round 11 search and destroy between Nova Invictus and Vitro, I would have told you were crazy.
Yeah.
And Vitro have really just come through and played with a lot of heart today. Vade with 7, Parallel 6, Tomb 5, Scott 7, Sped 6. Tomb picks up another kill onto Parrish in a 1-for-1 trade there. Desi finds the return onto Tomb. It's now a 4 versus 3 advantage. Make it a 4 versus 2 advantage, as Coach Image is going to find another kill there as well.
Yeah, things not looking great for Vitro right here. We do have Sped dropping as well. Scott now in a 1v4 to clutch this and push it to a game number 3, and he is patiently waiting. Gets the first frag right there. We'll see if he can get a second, but based on the push, I don't think it's going to happen. Band has the pistol out right there, and he's going to be able to close things out as Nova Invictus just barely manages to get away. And they do take the 2-0 victory over Vitro.
Yeah, so that's going to be really big for the side of Nova, who, again, I was mentioning, I expected to see them further up on the standings, and they were. That is going to bump them up from 35 to 55 points, picking up the 2-0 victory there. So really, really solid coming out of Nova Invictus there. Vitro, unfortunately, are going to stay down at the bottom with 0 points. That officially puts them in last, as F4 did pick up 15 today with their win over 11T. But I want to tell you, Vitro have put up one heck of a fight up against several of the competitors that they've had to play against. They put up a great fight up against Shreddit on April 8th, the first day. Last week we saw them up against Mayhem. They did great there as well. Arguably, I would say NL was like the most least favorited match for Vitro, even though kill-wise they were looking okay. And man, up here up against Invictus today, I mean, these were really close matchups. Hardpoint and Search and Destroy went all the way to round 11. Again, if you would have told me this at the beginning of the day, I wouldn't have believed you. If I would have missed the broadcast and you told me we went into round 11 with these two teams, I'd have had to go back and watch it. So Vitro, great job. Take this loss with a slight grain of salt. You guys have improved a lot, and we definitely look forward to seeing you guys ahead in the season. But congratulations to Nova Invictus with your 2-0 victory.
All right, Vague, thank you for tweeting me my POV, but I already saw my POV in the clip. I need Band's POV to confirm that it was a trick shot. I think I followed him on the COD Mobile Esports account earlier today, so I'm gonna need at Band COD M POV. Okay, Band, please, if you have that recorded, reply to my tweet with it, and we'll watch it on stream. Because I really hope that happened, because that would be great content. Anyway, we are getting ready for game number 3. We're halfway through the night. Exiled versus Shreddit is going to be our next matchup. Shreddit, definitely one of the breakout teams so far this season. Very close to the top of the standings, as you can see. They do have 40 points on the board and looking to gain a few here as well. If they get the 2-0 victory, they would actually be able to move into first, as we do have Tribe with a bye tonight. Nova Invictus already picking up their points, obviously. We do still have Cygnus Black yet to play, but this is a big opportunity for Shreddit, and if you're Exiled, really looking to make your way up, not too much separating them from 5th or 6th place, but obviously just off to a slow start, but definitely have looked very solid, as obviously they haven't gotten a match win yet, but they have had multiple map wins and have shown significant signs of improvement so far.
Yeah, and while I don't want to take any credit away from Shreddit, they have had arguably a little bit easier of a set of matches leading up to today. So on our first day of the season, we had Shreddit versus Vitro. They played F4 on Tuesday the 13th. They did play Tribe and obviously lost to Tribe last Thursday. But I think they put up a good fight there. Exiled has had a little bit tougher of a path. They played 11T in the first day. They played Invictus the second day. And they had a bye no, they didn't. That was Invictus that had a bye. They played Cygnus on the third day. So, I mean, they've had a much tougher fight. I actually think these two teams are arguably pretty even. And I think kind of our key players to watch out for, and one of like the kind of head-to-heads that I'm looking forward to, is specifically Sleepyhead on the side of Shreddit has been or on the side of, let me just double check here because I believe that is wrong. I just said the wrong. Sleepyhead on Exiled has been incredibly strong, and Jusabot on Shreddit has been an incredibly strong player as well. So kind of excited to see the head-to-head there. Other notable mentions for Shreddit, Time and Salai have been doing great, as well as on Exiled, looking at I'm Not Rihan and Rabalo. We haven't really seen too much of him this season, but in the past has been a phenomenal and consistent player. So I'm hoping that works out well for them and can bring us a good match here today. I haven't even really had a chance to look at who we have playing yet. Okay, so Rabalo is in, so that's pretty big, and we do have the return of Vibin for Shreddit.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at the maps and bans for this matchup. So
Zim says he has checked everything himself, stream. So if something is wrong from here on out, you have officially received word from Zim that you can blame all of it on him.
GG Zim, GG's. We do have our maps and bans. So as you can see, Firing Range Hardpoint for game number 1, Standoff Search and Destroy game 2, Summit Dom for game number 3, bans on the PP19 and the QQ9. I'm gonna be honest, I did not at all expect that we were gonna see multiple bans on PP19 tonight, but it looks like I just need to put in a little bit more time with the gun to see how good it actually is. As far as the map bans, we do have Exiled banning Hardpoint on Summit, and Shreddit banning Search and Destroy on Tunisia. So nothing too terribly surprising right there. definitely for less search and destroy heavy teams, it makes sense to ban Tunisia. I would say is it can be a very one-sided map, especially for teams that do have a stronger search and destroy. So we'll see what the meta holds for us and what the maps hold for us as we do get ready to hop into game number 1.
I believe, looking at past match history for the side of Shreddit, I would expect to see Ufer being the final player rounding out this team's lineup for the night. Again, definitely going to be eyes on Justabat and Sleepyhead, but also Rihan, Rabalo, Salai, and Time. So there's definitely a pretty exciting matchup ahead of us. iClaps, I do believe we saw him last week, and he actually came through pretty strong for the team considering the matchup that they had. Let me pop on over to Shreddit because I have all of my handy dandy notes here, stream. I meant for Exiled, not for Shreddit. Yeah, he pulled 10 kills in Search and Destroy on Thursday of last week. So we will have to see if he's able to pull through a little bit stronger of a performance in the respawns. Did go 10 and 25 in Hardpoint and 19 and 30 in Domination. So again, Exiled have had a much tougher set of matches. So a lot still to be seen. A lot of new players to the league on both of these teams. So
LOL at Zim replying to my tweets while I'm streaming and he's adminning. Chat, I'm trying to decide whether or not I should cut my hair. And earlier I was like, man, I really want to cut it, but then it gets all curly and beautiful like this, and I can't make the decision. I don't know what to do, but it's also so hot outside. I feel like it's way too hot outside to have long hair, but at the same time, once you cut it, there's no going back. Tough decision. We do have all of our players loaded in. Wait, Zim says get a do-rag and put some waves in them. All right, that's an interesting take. All right, just waiting for our players to get readied up for game number 1. Hardpoint firing range, I would definitely say, is probably my favorite remaining hardpoint map, in that it is the one where the spawns are probably least affected by the hardpoint update. Also, very interesting thing, COD Mobile China doesn't even have hardpoint. It's not even that they don't play hardpoint competitive, they just don't have hardpoint at all. So interested to see if that's going to impact the rank pool for champs. Honestly, like, low-key would like to see control be introduced, not as like an official rank mode, because I think it would probably take a little bit too much comprehension for the average rank player, but definitely as competitive.
Oof.
Definitely as a competitive map, I think it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely could be. We are spawning on into Hardpoint on firing range, and again, I think that these two teams are actually pretty even as far as their skill across from like their top player to their bottom player goes. So this is definitely going to be a matchup that is going to rotate or round down to which team has the better synergy, which team makes the better rotations and works together the best. Justabat in a great spot there, does pick up an assist and a kill. Time also picks up a double kill for himself there. Justabat finds another, and it has mostly been Shreddit in the feed here. Xball does pick up one, does pick up two, but being the only player on the board with kills for your team, not the most ideal situation. Sleepyhead finally finding a break on Salai there, and there's a couple kills coming through for the side of Exiled.
Yeah, we do see iClaps making the rotation, but he's going to get spotted right there. Relatively even game so far despite the early lead for Shreddit. And typically P1, not a hard point where we see one team really get a whole lot of a lead. We do see X-Fall hopping on right here. Go ahead and smoke down firing range, and that should allow them to get the majority of scrap time as both teams now making the push on into P2. Lots of QXRs in play. Not a gun we've seen a lot today, but we know that is the primary gun for a lot of these Shredded teams, especially Justabot, who's had some huge performances with it so far in Mobile Mayhem. We do have Oofer now trying to hold down that trailer side doorway. A few more frags going in as Shredded does continue to hold right here. And it looks like they'll probably be able to maintain this hold for a good bit as really everybody's spawning out for Exiled right now. And they do try to make the rotation in through mid, but Justabot set up over on truck is going to get taken out. Still multiple players in position, but they are dwindling quickly. Only one remains. He's going to get taken out, and the break is going to go in, at least for the time being. But Salai going to go ahead and slide in there himself. Rehan seeing if he can get the trade, and he's not going to be able to. Big frag for Salai. And Day's not, Day, where'd you go? Day! Where'd you go?
My Discord died.
Okay.
We're here.
Anyways, Day's back with us.
I'm still down to see some M16 use anytime someone wants to whip
Wait,
it
was
out.
somebody using it?
No, just chat's confused that someone had it out, but it was for a speed boost class, so just
okay.
about has it on a speed boost class, and then switched over to the MP7.
Makes a little bit more sense. Ooper.
I mean, I'd love to see it, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible to be honest, but who knows? Maybe one day the M16 will get the buff that it deserves. Until then, we are stuck with DRHs and QXRs, and it is a close game with us right now as we do have Exiled retaking the lead, but only 8 points ahead right now. Sleepyhead once again popping off and pulling off some big things for this Exiled team. 15 kills on the board for him. Iclaps with a solid game so far as well. Unfortunately for him, Oofer is waiting inside, and he's going to have to try to hold this down against an entire pushing Exiled team. Iclaps right there, going to try to slide the doorway, not going to be able to win it. Raballo, however, is. This is going to be a hotly contested one right here as Salai gets stuck in the cryobomb, somehow able to survive. Players pushing in through the window, through the doorway. Sleepyhead wins another gunfight, 18 kills on the board. And this is looking really good for Exiled right now.
Yeah, so far looking to be the case. Definitely a little bit of a struggle coming out of Raballo. I don't know if it's, some still adjusting to phone. I'm not really sure. But again, one of the more consistent players historically. So it is a little bit rough to see him down at 7 kills right now. Sleepyhead up at 18. Justabot massively struggling compared to what we've seen him in the past couple of weeks of the tournament. Does get wallbanged there once again by Rehan, who also finds Salai. So, not the most ideal situation for Shreddit to be in. I mean, again, a lot of their success has been around Justabot having really strong performances. So hopefully he's just in a little bit of a slump right now for the first half. And will pick it up and give us a little bit more of a kind of close matchup. He actually does pick up a kill onto Sleepyhead there. Great. Great ears listening to that one.
That was huge to get somebody out of tower. That's not an easy thing to make happen. So for them to be able to knock him out, definitely very much needed. We do see Shreddit closing some of this gap right now. If they can get the full hold, they'll be able to tie things up. But obviously, Exile not looking to make that happen. Iclaps now 19 on the board, looking to be the second player to make their way into the 20s. And we do have players on the hill once again for Shreddit. He's going to go ahead and peek right there, though. Immediately taken out are Salai and Vibin. Exiled looking very, very strong right now as they do get the retake, and they'll be able to take the scrap time as well as the setup onto P2.
Yeah, about a 30-point lead right now for Exiled. They are obviously winning, but it's not a super comfortable position for them to be in. Justabot stepped it up a little bit, now at 11 kills for him. Ufer and Salai finding a couple kills there for the team as well. Only about 20 points now between these two teams. Robalo does rotate in, gets a double kill, and Shred It once again fill up the feed there. Not quite enough for them to make the break they want, but they have slowly started closing the gap between these two teams. Only about 10 points now, as we are on, oh god, what hard point is this? Is this P4 on this map? P3? No, this isn't P3.
P2.
Yeah.
Yeah, P2.
Yeah, I got confused there. I was like hopping back and forth between players. I'm like, wait a minute, where are we? but yeah, this makes sense now. This makes sense now where we're at, and we do have Exiled making the break onto point for the last about 15 seconds there, so they'll extend their lead once again to coming up on just about 30 points. But as we do move on over into P3, trailer going to be hotly contested as we do have teams rotating in from each side. A lot of wallbang potential on this point specifically, so we'll have to see what they're able to pull together there. Time with a good slide past Rehan there is going to find a kill. Salai with a big double. This could be huge for Shred It if they're able to find any sort of lockdown right now. Time also finds the kill onto Rehan. Is once again a game within 10 points, been back and forth the whole time. And looks like Shred It still pretty solid on point here, picking up a couple extra kills. Salai absolutely rocking it, 29 on the board for him. He has the cluster strike and lives with 2 HP there. Gets into another gunfight, lives with 10 before finally falling to claps. Ufer with a great rotation. We finally have a Shred It lead, even if it's only so far about 5 points. This is the realistically the first time that they've held a lead over Exiled this game, and are even that was basically a full hold for Shred It. I mean, you got to give these guys credit.
Yeah. And chat brings up a good point. I think this is a perfect time for listening with the way Shred It is playing right now. I think that's the team that we want to hear, so we will go ahead and hop into a listening with Shred It.
One front.
One more jungle.
One in front. In our spawn, our spawn.
Two more jungle.
Three jungle.
Outside of wood.
Yo, nade jungle. Nade.
They're gonna push up. Watch your back.
I'm watching back wood. I'm playing back wood.
I'm gonna go top wood. Watch your top wood.
Bottom wood, two bottom wood.
One front dead.
One more.
I got two.
One jungle.
Front dead.
They're spawning showers, dude.
I got one showers. One more showers.
Nice, guys.
One more shower,
I'm
watch
on rotate next.
I think one
trailer.
I got one ramp. I got one ramp.
There's one mid truck.
One mid truck.
I got two.
Mid truck. One more mid.
Go for
One
trailer.
trailer.
One trailer.
Push up for the shit.
I got a cluster.
I got tires.
Trailer one half. One front, one mid truck.
One sandbag.
One mid truck.
I'm friends, dude.
Mid truck.
Push up wood.
Yeah, I'm gonna play top box.
Go trailer.
One front.
Yeah, what's that back?
One shot.
I'm nading.
One top
Are they spawning down? No, it's not. Look at trailer. Never mind.
There's three. One more.
I'm on sandbag.
I tell you what, I've never heard comms as urgent as the ones you were hearing from Salai. For those of you wondering who the primary voice that we were hearing right there was, that was Salai, and obviously it's working for him. He's got a cluster strike, 35 kills on the board, the cluster on the P1, if there's ever a spot to call it in. That's going to be it, and that is definitely going to be crucial for Shred It, as they have turned this one around big time. They were once down, now up to a 65-point lead, and Sleepyhead trying to do everything he can to save this one for Exiled, but there's only so much they can do at this point. They are going to be able to get some scrap time right here, but the beams from Vibin are going to go in. He's got 35. He and Salai with the big time carries so far for this team. It is going to be Vibin as the only Shred It player to set up for P2, but a couple big frags going in the feed, going to make it a little bit easier, but Robalo and Rehan on the backside making the push on in. Justabot barely missing that final shot. He is going to be able to get the kill, and a big feed going in could mark the end of the game for Shred It.
Yeah, looking real good for Shred It right now. They're just 5 points away from picking up a win. And looking at the map, we do have a big rotation in for the side of Exiled. Will it be enough to stop the win? So far it has been, as we do have Shreddit spawning in, unfortunately for them, several different, like, kind of unfortunate spots. We do have Salai looking for a kill. I don't know how, just, it looked like every bullet should have connected there onto Rihan and not a single one found its target. Rihan was able to get the double kill and the turn. Once again, we have a big push coming out of the side of Exiled, looking to be about a 25-point game between these two teams currently. And with Trailer being up for contest, Shreddit were able to hold down, I think, the entirety of Trailer last time. And we do have Sly on point, only 1 point to go. And with the massive comeback, Shreddit are able to lock down the round 1 win up against Exiled. So moving into Search and Destroy, they'll have that little bit of a cushion. This is still a matchup that, you know, from the start, I expected to go to a game 3. If I'm going to be honest, I kind of expected Exiled to win the hardpoint and Shreddit to win the Search and Destroy. So we'll have to see. Maybe Shreddit can close it out in a 2-0, but you know, Exiled obviously were able to put up a big fight for a large portion of the first half. They were almost able to make the comeback there on the last hard point as well, but just with Shreddit being so close, only 5 points away, they were able to get the rotation over to Trailer and secured themselves the win.
Chat's trying to tell me that the voice I was hearing was Robalo. Guys, I was literally in Shreddit's voice call right there. There was not Robalo. There's no way it could have been Robalo. Robalo is not on that team. The only way I can see which voices are moving is if I'm in the voice call. That was 100%. I thought that it was Robalo. I'm going to be honest. Because I've heard his voice before, and I 100% thought it was him, but I promise you guys, that was Salai's voice. And yes, I did hear somebody else that sounded like Vague as well, but it wasn't Vague, I promise. Also, Day, whenever you get a chance to reconnect your...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Reconnect OBS. There we go.
But there was definitely a lot of like very different communication styles. Like you had Salai, who's like very urgent, and a couple guys that are just like chilling, casually calling out everything. But it works. They get the win right there. 41 kills for Salai.
Yep, Sly was a key player for Shreddit's victory here. I mean, just really kept them in. Just about, as I mentioned, had a really rough start, but was able to pull it together 29, 29, and 17 at the end. Robalo as well had a pretty rough start, wasn't able to pull it back together quite as much. Ended that game at 25 and 34, but you know, again, it being a 250 to 224 win, where Exiled were in the lead for a majority of the first half at least. Really, really solid plays out of both of these teams. I should have all of my formulas and stuff prepared before Thursday's game, so I'll have all of the exact KDAs and everything for all of the players in spring 2021. So that'll be some exciting information we have for you. And, you know, again, Shreddit continuing to do well.
Okay, so I tweeted, should I cut my hair? And then Subliners replied, how many likes to shave NYSL into your head?
Oh, boy.
And now I have to reply because that's my team. Oh, gosh. Initially, I thought that they said, how many likes to shave your head? And for that, it would have had to be like 100,000 because Molly would be really mad if I shaved my head.
100,000?
I really do not want to shave my head. But, like, to shave NYSL into my head, I could do that because I can still keep the hair on my top of the head, and I just, like, do it short
like
on the
underneath
sides.
On the side?
Yeah. What number do I give them, chat? Obviously, you guys aren't going to hear this question for 2 minutes, but it'll probably take the teams 2 minutes to get everything squared away anyway, so we'll see.
Just gotta make sure I got my screenshot for that game. I did. Sweet. Potentially have a substitution coming in for Shreddit. We'll have to see how that plays out for them. kind of peeking over at the players they've had. We have in right now Ufer times slide just about. So we actually did have Jason play for them last week. And Will played for them the day before that. So a pretty lively roster we have over here. Vibin's kind of been in and out, but honestly, Vibin had a pretty solid performance there. I'm not really sure why they would switch him out. 37, 35, and 20 for him. So not like he had a bad performance or anything. I don't know, maybe time constraint, maybe just reconnecting to the lobby. I don't really know yet, Bobby, but hopefully we'll get everybody in here soon. May actually be able to pop down and see. It looks like we do have Jason in their chat. Some of you guys may also know him under the name Friends. At least according to the roster list. So
apparently Band's shot was a
almost
540
720
no
he said.
scope.
He said he doesn't have video of it though,
Yeah.
so I'm calling BS until I see it.
Yeah, that just makes me so sad that he wasn't recording. Oh.
Yeah, me too. I would have loved to see it. But
pain.
If there's no video, we can't say that's the first.
Yeah.
We can't say that's the first trick shot of tournament.
I mean, ultimately, like, it was a trick shot. We just don't know if it was an impressive trick shot, you know?
I mean, fair. I mean, I definitely saw feet hit the ground for a solid bit of time before the kill came through.
Okay. All right, Day. Just let us believe. Give me something to believe in. Chat says 10,000 likes.
Look, I spent a lot of time in a trick shotting community, and to be honest, if your feet hit the ground, it's a shun.
1,000 likes, you're unknown. Oof. That's tough. I feel like 10K is too low, chat. I feel like that's too easy. 10K likes? You gotta make it a challenge, you know? 10K likes is nothing. Maybe I'll do like 15. I think 15 is a good number. See, YouTube chat knows where it's at. They're saying like 20 to 25,000. That sounds a little bit more realistic.
Hold on. Where are the mods at right now?
Oh.
Can you handle that, Bobby?
I totally didn't even realize that. Yeah,
you should mod me for.
Can you say something?
Something.
Yes. Now I can mod you. There we go.
Yeah. We'll slay stuff like that all the time.
Lit.
Yo, I even got a notification on my phone that I'm a moderator now. Heck yeah.
That's how you know you're important. All right. Waiting for our teams to ready up. Most players are good to go. Following this, we do have one more matchup. It is going to be Trovo Mayhem versus Zygnus Esports. For those of you who don't know, Zygnus Esports is actually formerly NL, who's formerly Infinix. Were they anybody else before that? I can't remember.
No, I think Infinix NL.
I think that's it. All right, everybody's readied up. We're good to go. Zim. Zimothy?
Probably making sure he's got the 90 seconds right.
Oh, he's talking to teams. All right. Noted. Yes, okay, he's already got it in 90 seconds. Wow. Can we get claps in chat?
Heck yeah. Good job, Zim. I was promised prop hunt, though. I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm a little disappointed.
All right. Who's down to add prop hunt in place of hardpoint for next Mobile Mayhem? I think
Yo,
that works.
team prop hunt for the All-Star games?
Oh, that would be sick. That would actually be fun. Imagine commentating prop hunt.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Zim is.
Did you come up with a number?
I think we're gonna go 20K.
20K. All right.
All right.
I'll
I'll
make
reply
sure
to that
I'm
at the end of.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. 20K. Because that's also like high enough that I might not have to do it. So I think overall that's a good number. Just get Clayster and Zuma to retweet. I mean, then if that happens, then it's worth it for the impressions, you know? It's a win-win. All right.
All right. Looks like we are jumping on him.
Oh, that's a big brain. I wonder if he has it. Or it wouldn't show a death cam because it was the last kill of the round.
Right.
Tough.
Yo, why is there no end game kill cam? Let's be real here. That's what we need for Mobile Mayhem.
Wait, it wasn't the last kill of the game, was it?
Destroy the objective.
Oh no, you're right. It wasn't. No.
You do have an end game kill cam, you goofy goober. Wait, it might not show for spectators though. I don't know.
Doesn't show for spectators now.
Okay. Well, we're underway in our 90-second search and destroy for our second to last matchup of the night. Time with the sniper in hand. Seeing if he can find anybody over on the A site. Obviously, pretty passive approach for this exiled team as we are yet to find any first blood. And it is going to be Shredded slowly making their way on over to the B site. Bomb in the hand of Oofer. He's actually going to get spotted by the sniper. Not taken out, though. Time. And now repositioning back on over to spawn van. We do have one player pushed up onto tank. Could potentially have an angle, but not going to see him. Salai got very, very isolated right there. He's going to get beamed by Raballo. One player down for each team so far. Oofer now making his push on up to the site. Trophy system going to go ahead and go down. The plant will go down onto A as well, and with Justabot taking out Raballo, the pressure is on for Exiled right here. Rihan really needs to find a snipe, and he needs to make it happen soon. He is going to go ahead and pick up an AK-117 to work with as well, and just like that, evened up. 3 players apiece. I'm not so sure about this rotation. Seems like a very long rotation to take with only 20 seconds left on the clock. Especially with X-Fall getting taken out right there. Things just got a whole lot more difficult. Iclaps gets a 2-piece right there. This is actually manageable. Rihan's going to go for the defuse. Justabot, he's going to be able to win the gunfight, but he doesn't have the angle. Rihan, with 4 HP, manages to clutch the defuse and Exiled. Going to be able to take round 1.
Oh, that hurts so bad to watch from Justabot's perspective. But, you know, it was a good bit of teamwork there. Clearly calculated on the 1-bullet survival chance.
Yup.
And, you know, that's going to be a round going over to Exiled there. Justabot did pick up a early kill. And, you know, kind of one thing that I do want to say is that we saw Shredded, believe it was Shredded at least. I will double check my notes. It was not Shredded. It was, oh, it was Shredded. So Shredded in the qualifiers we actually saw on this map make a lot of B-side pushes for search and destroy. So that is something that they did through that first round. They ended up planting, but
and
oh man,
we have I think a defuse. Oh, it was about to go in. Sleepyhead's actually going to be able to win that one. He gets hit markered. Jason trying to keep things going right here. He's not going to win the gunfight on the X-Fall. I think that he thought as well that he had won the gunfight, but he was actually 1 bullet short. And that's going to cost them the round once again, as we do now have Exiled taking the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, once again, a strong bit of team play coming out of the side of Exiled there, winning them back-to-back rounds. Still anybody's game. A lot of search and destroy ahead of us, anywhere from 4 to, 9 more rounds between these two teams. So, still a lot of time on the board. We do have Ufer dropping a trophy system. Does have bomb over at the B side, which again, we have seen them make this rotation a lot, which is unique because we don't see any other teams really make this B side rotation on standoff. So we'll have to see what they're able to pull together. Goes ahead and starts the plant there, trying to bait out any sort of sound cues, and is continuing to kind of play defensive around the bomb. I think he's pretty safe with where his teammates are positioned to go ahead and go in for the plant. The only kind of like one downside is I don't think this van is quite blown up, so it's a little dangerous. We do have a couple kills getting picked up. Rihan finds a double kill there, finds Salai and Time. Justibot will return the kill onto Sleepyhead, however, and now another A-side plant coming out for Shreddit.
Yep, they end up executing on the reposition right there. Ufer gets a couple shots to ward off the player, trying to make the push on through the smoke. And now waiting for the audio cues. iClap's going to peek a little bit right there. Rihan going to be able to get the frag onto Jason. Ufer not winning the gunfight. The pressure's on for Justibot. He's got the Fennec. He gets the first frag, but not a whole lot of HP to work with. Slides back in. Doesn't quite land the shots. Exiled looking like the team to beat in Search and Destroy right now, as their retakes have been on point, whether intentionally or accidentally. And Team Fantasy with the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Can we get some sub hype in chat?
Does look like, with another round going over to the side. Ufer with just an absolute Hail Mary finds a perfect nade, falls in the lap of Sleepyhead, and he picks up the kill. That's a great start for the side of Shreddit. Ufer does have the bomb. He's pretty content, apparently, with just holding up the stairs for a second there. Starting to make his rotation over once again. B-side first is going to get caught on the wall there. Rihan finds the kill. Xfall does get hit markered there, as well as Jason, but they both will survive, find another gunfight. So far, just Ufer and Sleepyhead dead, so it's a 4 versus 4. Bomb is down. We did. I think we know that. I think Rihan actually was able to see bomb down there, so likely going to be getting his team to start setting up a defense around that. And definitely a rough round for Shreddit to be in at this point.
Yeah, it looked like they were off to a good start. They got the first blood, but they just have not been able to capitalize on those, and Time's going to be the only one left. He is able to hit the quick scope, but Xfall waiting around the corner. And it's going to be yet another round going in for Exiled. Definitely in large part thanks to Rihan. He and Xfall have been the big-time carries, and quite a few first bloods, or either first bloods or trades off of the first blood for Rihan have come in clutch for them a number of different rounds as they're looking to close this one out and push it to a game number 3. We do have nobody pushing, and we actually have a fast plant going in. Salai's going to be able to get the plant down onto A. We'll see what their defense looks like right here. It hasn't been great so far, but obviously there's a first time for everything. So Time with the sniper in hand, going to go ahead and reposition on over to Market. And trying to peek and see if he can find anybody in Delhi. Going to go ahead and get rid of a trophy system. Not a whole lot of time for Exile to work with right here. And for a 5-man retake, this seems like a less than ideal position, especially with Time able to reposition over to boxes. You got one player in hot pursuit, but he's going to drop as well. Even if they're able to get a kill. Oh, wait. That's what they needed. They don't have a whole lot of time, and finally it is going to be Justibot clutching, I think, with the deagle right there. I think he got a double kill with the deagle to win them the round, and that was absolutely what they needed, as we do get ready to go ahead and switch sides, and they will move over to the defensive.
Yeah, 4-1 lead currently for Exiled. Shreddit were able to finally find a little bit of ground thanks to, again, Justibot really helping carry the team here. 8 kills on the board for him to lead all players. Xfall and Rihan both at 7, however. And I can't believe Xfall is alive with 1 HP there. had every right to lose that gunfight. Raballo as well surviving with, I think I flicked over and saw him at 3 there. We do have Sleepyhead with the bomb. Sleepyhead been one of the stronger players for this team, struggling a little bit in this particular search and destroy. Does look like he's trying to find hits on Oofer through the wall. I don't know if he's really knows he's there or if he's just checking the corner, but doesn't look like he actually knows. Oofer is now up. We did have Rehan picking up another kill there. Jason finds Sleepyhead over the head glitch. Time gets a kill onto Rehan there, and it's up to Jason now against 3 players for the side of Exiled, who now also have the bomb plant. Not looking ideal for Jason, but definitely a possibility. Does survive a couple hit markers there. I don't know if there's realistically going to be time for him to pick up 3 kills and a defuse, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, just a really tough situation for him, especially with Xfall up on that statue head glitch. There's not really anything he can do to challenge this. He's got to wait for Xfall to peek, and as soon as Raballo goes ahead, peeks the corner, he's going to be dead. And just like that, Exiled with the 5-1 lead, looking really, really good in Search and Destroy right now. Obviously, time and time again, Rehan and Xfall coming up with the big frags, as they do now need one more round to clutch things up and push us to a game of domination. Sleepyhead not had a great game so far, but he's the bomb man, and he's doing what he needs to do to get his team to where they need to be. Time with the sniper in hand, not quite able to get a first blood. Rehan looking for one for himself. Nobody waiting on the inside of Delhi, and the slow push on up to A is gradually working for Exiled, as we do have everybody waiting over on the backside. It's going to be just about getting first blood on the Sleepyhead, and definitely a big one to find. Obviously not a big performance for him so far, but always a crucial player for the team either way. iClap's going to slide on through. Jason with the refrag. It is a one-man advantage once again for this shredded team, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on this a whole lot of times. We do finally see Raballo dropping. Oofer's going to get the major assist. Justabot, the final kill. Shredded will stay alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, it would be a long 4 rounds ahead of them, but we did see them make the comeback in a hard point, so definitely still possible. Meanwhile, over at the side of Exiled, they just need to find one more round for themselves to push us to a game 3, which again, you know, I kind of expected a game 3 out of these 2 teams, not necessarily in the fashion that it happened. Again, you know, my money would have been on Exiled Hardpoint, and it would have been on Shreddit for Search and Destroy, so kind of dropped the ball a little bit there, but you know, it is what it is. We do have a fast A plant coming out for Xfall here on the side of Exiled, and now with 40 seconds on the board, Shreddit need to essentially find 5 kills and a defuse. I mean, they could get the defuse without finding all of the players, but it would be increasingly difficult to do so. We do have Sleepyhead groaning it down behind the tractor.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really love this setup for Shreddit to try to get the retake right here. Trying to hit somebody over top of that tractor head glitch is just not an easy thing to do. We do see a few frags going in, but another player drops. Justabot drops. Salai's all by himself. He needs to make something crazy happen right here. He finds the first frag. One player in top of shops. He's got to go for the defuse immediately. It is do or die. He challenges anyway. Obviously, he's going to get the kill right there, but it's not going to be enough to clutch up the game. And it is going to be Exiled taking the win 6-2 to push us to a game 3 of Search and Destroy.
Yep,
or
so
game 3 of Domination.
Game 3 domination coming through for the side of Exiled as they pick up the win in Search and Destroy there. Pretty convincingly, I would say. I mean, a 6-2 win is nothing to complain about. Rehan having a huge performance, as well as Xfall, who we saw do really well in the qualifiers and then struggled a little bit in the first couple games of the open season, but 11-4 for him with 2 assists. Pretty solid play. Justabot as well, the player for Shreddit, we said to keep an eye out for. 11-5 for him, so big performance, but team unable to really fully back him up there. And we'll be moving into domination. As far as respawns went, we did have Shred It pulled together a pretty big comeback in hardpoint on firing range. So we'll have to see as we move into. I do forget what map we are playing on. It looks like Hackney Yard will be our final matchup between these two. No, this is wrong matchup. That was wrong matchup. Hold on, team. Chat, don't slay me for that one. Looks like we have Domination Summit to round off our matchup between Exiled and Shred It. So we do have the QQ9 and the PP19 bands, just as a reminder to everybody. And of course, no respawn sniping here in spring 2021. It looks like Zim has got a message for you, Bobby.
Yep. Zim has a good idea. BRB. COD Mobile, I promise you I would not be upset if you wanted to make the ads like a little bit longer, so I actually had wait, rest of the ads. Zim, there's only 2 ads. Huh? Oh, that
You have the interview too.
Yeah, the other one. I ran the other one at the beginning of the stream. But we do have an interview. So we'll take a look at the interview in between. Let me pull up an actual Chrome tab. I'm guessing this will probably lag the stream once again, but you know what, chat? You'll be all right. You will be A-okay. I promise.
I mean, I think you have all the justification in the world to tell the wife you need a new PC build.
True. But also, well, yeah, I guess she has gotten to buy a lot of stuff recently with the new house and everything, so I think I could pull that off. Oh my gosh, Muhammad. Good lord. Sheesh. 5,000 elixir, you madman. Appreciate it. Let me shared with me. I'm trying to find my folders. Zim, could you reshare the folder?
Yo, and we are joined by the famous B. Maybe everything will start going smoothly now.
Poggers.
Yep.
All right. Domination Summit. I feel like we haven't seen Domination Summit in a hot minute.
I feel like we usually get stuck with it as hardpoint.
Yeah. It's, I feel like most of the time for Dom, we have either raid or firing range. It's definitely been a while since we've seen Domination on Summit.
I'm also seeing quite a bit of hardpoint Summit banned, actually, as we look through the recent bans. Looks like Invictus Exiled last week was a Hardpoint Summit ban. We had Exiled versus Cygnus ban Hardpoint Summit. NL versus Vitro banned Hardpoint Summit. Yeah, I can feel it. I can dig it. Shred It versus Vitro in week 1 was a Hardpoint Summit ban.
Oh my gosh, the Hornets lost. Pain. I'm so sad. We scored 15 points in the 4th quarter, 16 points in the 3rd quarter. Oh. Pain and suffering. That's tough. That's tough. You hate to see it, chat. Oh. I know you guys don't care, but oh, that just makes me so sad. It's all right. We'll survive. Oh, is this a 2-part interview? Oh. Let's get to downloading. And it looks like we got all but 1 player readied up, so after that we should be good to hop into the final game of the match. And once we get the interview up, then I can get water and revive my throat. Go, 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 go!
Alrighty. It's like we're getting ready to get into another match 3 of the night as we have Shred It facing off against Exiled on Summit Domination. Summit, not a map we've really seen a ton of this season. Granted, we haven't really seen a ton of Game 3s. I mean, we definitely have seen some, but definitely going to have to see how this one turns out. I mean, again, Shreddit, we're able to pull a pretty sizable comeback together in the hardpoint firing range. Looking across the board, we have looks like pretty much everybody has their score streaks on. Seeing a lot of VTOLs. I can already foresee accidents happening once again.
Just goofy goobers, like it's very apparent to me that the pro players don't watch the streams, and honestly, that's you guys' fault. Like when you have nobody to blame but yourselves. When we are giving solutions to your problems, and you're just sitting here looking like a bum, calling in a VTOL and causing your team to lose. Just listen to Bobby and Dave. Simple.
Yeah, we do have all operators as well taken off on the side of Shreddit, not wanting to accidentally feel tempted to use such devices. And so far, we do actually have a slight lead for Shreddit, despite having the double cap currently on the side of Exiled with a actually really strong defense there coming out. Sleepyhead making a strong rotation up the left-hand side of B there. I mean, I guess left-hand side, assuming you were coming from their spawn, which was A. Raballo making the rotation back is going to stop the cap onto A, but it looks like we have a pretty sizable flip coming through. Raballo picks up one, unable to find the second kill onto Justabat, and very likely looking to see an A cap coming through here soon. The temporary double cap going in favor of Shreddit with the spawn flip. It is going to give it a C over to the side of Exile. The B is still under their control. Oofer barely picks up the kill there before Sleepyhead finds a triple. And man, Sleepyhead absolutely rocking it here on the side of Exile. 9 kills for him. 9 kills for Raballo, who has massively stepped it up from the first game that we saw between these two teams.
And I believe we are having some connectivity issues for a couple players of Shreddit. I saw Justabat lagging. I saw Jason disconnecting multiple times. So definitely a less than ideal start for them. Obviously, that coupled with the breakout start for Raballo and Sleepyhead, just not looking great for them so far. They do have the double cap going in for Exiled right here, and they're very, very close to a triple cap, but not quite able to pull it off. We do have Sleepyhead already with a Pred and a Cluster Strike. And even though this is not a great map for Preds and Cluster Strikes, it's definitely very usable, as you do have a lot of windows above some of these places where you do have flag caps. So could very well see some good usage coming out of it. Raballo getting kill number 11 right there. Sleepyhead spawning over by A. Will likely see the A flag going in to control for Exiled right here, and we do now have the triple cap in play, as right now really nothing going the way of Shreddit, and they're going to need to turn things around big time in the second half if they're going to have a shot at winning this one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, it was the second half of Hardpoint that they turned things around, so we'll have to see if they can have a repeat. Raballo leading the team up at 12 kills currently, and nobody at double digits on the side of Shreddit yet, as iClaps does move into the 10 kill mark there. Sleepyhead, Rehan, and Xfall all not very far away from breaking into double digits as well, and it looks like we are going to have essentially a 37-point lead for the side of why am I drawing a blank here? Exiled. So
yeah. That was
36.
That was a rough first half. Everybody in double digits for Exiled and 0 people in double digits for Shreddit. No matter how good your rotations and your map control are, if you don't win your gunfights, you will not win the game. And that's what's got to change for Shreddit right here. Obviously, it's starting to look like their players are having a little bit less of an issue with connectivity, so hopefully that'll help out. Justabat was one of those players that was lagging, so he's definitely stepping things up. time, or rather Jason is there, but he's going to die to the trophy system of Raballo, and just like that, it looks like progress for the double cap going in once again for Exiled. Justibot finds one frag, but Sleepyhead's there to finish the cap. We do have players on site to get the B, and looks like it might actually go in, but my gosh, just too much firepower for Exiled right now, as we do see the slow upward take on the B flag, and finally the double cap goes into play for Shred It, but I think they're very, very close to the point of needing a triple cap if they don't hold this.
Yeah, and it looks like it could potentially go over to Exiled's favor there, but as I say that, a big feed comes through for Shred It. Sleepyhead does have a cluster strike, so that is something to keep in mind. I, for one, am not entirely sure how the mechanics of the cluster strike work with the glass ceiling here at B. Specifically with where B is placed, it might be not the most ideal compared to like a Predator missile that you can kind of curve it into the right place. You know what I mean, Bobby? So
Yeah.
we will have to see how he ends up using that. I feel like on this map it may even be more of a kind of like a zoning tool. Assuming your team like gets a pretty big feed and knows where the enemy team is going to be spawning, obviously based on the flags. A little bit less erratic of respawns on domination compared to hardpoint. Sleepyhead is going to survive with 6 HP there, rotates up, gets the return kill as time it did pick up Raballo. Sleepyhead now pulls out a nade at just what looked to be the most unfortunate time, but teammate was there to back him up. Justibot does pick up the kill there. So far, the double cap is still in over on Shred It. We do have it looking like it's starting to come through and does get locked in for the side of Exiled. So almost a comeback for Shred It there. I mean, this is now just a 15-point game. They were able to make up a lot of ground and have a lot of potential here still. They're not quite in triple cap territory. Justibot, Jason, and Sly each finding a couple kills, but Raballo finds a big double. The cluster strike does finally come in for Sleepyhead. Does pick up a kill and a minor assist, it looked like there. And we are going to have a C cap, so once again the spawn's getting it flipped. And now a 20-point lead once again for the side of Exiled, getting very, very close to triple cap territory. 2 minutes on the board, 50. So, not quite there yet, but in the next 30 seconds or so, it's going to be.
When I was doing the math in my head, I was completely calculating for 150-point doll. Oh my gosh. I was like, why hasn't he used the cluster strike yet? The game's almost over. Then I realized, oh, we're going to 200 points. We still got a little ways to go in this one. And suddenly everything makes a little bit more sense. We do have Exiled extending their lead once again. And now the cluster strike timing for Sleepyhead actually makes a lot more sense because he was able to save that B cap, which was crucial for them holding this for as long as they have. And now we're actually seeing the need for a triple cap go into play for Team Shred It, and with the way that this one's gone so far, maybe a double cap could go in, but the odds of a triple slim to none, and especially with only 53 seconds remaining, not even sure if they'd have time to cover as much of the gap as they need to. They do have progress on the B flag. It looks like they will take the B cap, but they're going to need to insta-push for C to see if they can maybe get the triple right here and potentially pull off a miracle.
Yeah, I just don't think with 30 seconds on the board, I don't think there's time.
Yeah.
The triple cap doesn't save them at this point. I mean, this is going to be a win going over to Exiled. And a long, hard-fought battle for the side of Shred It. But, you know, again, boiling down here into domination, it was Exiled who found, again, just a very slight marginal win over Shred It. Just about 30 points in domination. We've definitely seen games not be this close. And there is the official win for the side of Exile. That's going to push us into our final matchup tonight. Arguably arguably the one everybody was looking forward to. That's going to be NL versus Zygnus Esports versus the Trovo Mayhem. So again, probably the matchup the teams were most looking forward to. But Exiled still a strong team that's struggled to find their ground. I think a lot of it again due to just the matchups that they've had, but they were able to overcome Shred It, who was in third place coming into today. So strong performance coming out of the side of Exiled. Shred It put up a great fight, and I definitely expect to see more out of both of these teams as we move forward. I mean, specifically, you have players on both teams, the likes of Sleepyhead and Justabot. Absolutely good players. So a lot of the other players also phenomenal. Just got to work on a little bit of the consistency there, but overall, definitely two exciting teams to watch.
For sure. That brings us to the end of game number 3. Like Day said, we still have one more, and that means it is time for an interview with everyone's favorite bot. Can we get some Leader B spam in chat?
All right, for today's Mobile Mayhem interview guest, we've got Little B by popular demand. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I like to start this out kind of the same way with everybody. See some background, see where you come from in gaming. So what were some of the first video games you played, and when did you start gaming as a kid? I assume as a kid.
So my first game was, I actually originally came from PC. I never actually touched console. I started out with a game called CS 1.6, Counter-Strike 1.6, and then got my way to CS Source, and then CSGO, and after a while, because of age restriction, I couldn't play competitive there, so I had to stop PC gaming. And then after a while, I figured out how to play some kind of game like CSGO on mobile, and I found Critical Ops, and that's where our mobile gaming career came into. And then COD Mobile came in, more of a standard game, and then I started playing COD Mobile. So that's
nice. 1.6 was like the first shooter on PC I got serious about.
Yeah, that's so old. Such an old game.
For me, I think that was like high school, college. So yeah.
For me, I started playing when I was like 8 years old.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah, on my laptop.
Nice. And so did you start playing with like friends in real life, or did you kind of meet people in online communities, and that's where you found your partners?
So for 1.6, I actually played with bots a lot. Like just I don't know what I was doing. I just like shooting bots. And then after like CS Source, I kind of got into bee hopping. There's the bee hopping community, and then after that, CS:GO. A bunch of my friends wanted to play, and then I hopped on, and we started like putting a lot of time into it. And yes, hit a certain level to become pretty good at it.
Nice. And with Mayhem as the team, there's a lot of hype coming. This is the second season for the team. How do you feel about the games coming up, the competition?
It's a newly built roster, and myself, I wasn't really expected to come back to comp, but with some people really helping me and like motivating me to keep playing, we build a roster, and yeah, the competition is tough. You can see there's a lot of really good teams out there, but as me from the original Champs tribe roster, we started out really rough. It was really rough, but when you put the time and effort into it, anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's the team communication, kind of knowing your fellow players' tendencies, where people are going to be. All that comes from time together. So, so what does the practice schedule look like for Mayhem in the average week?
So right now that Champs is announced, it is now back to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, and yeah, it's like that till Champs comes out.
Oh wow! So you're really putting in the time to have a good championship run.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got a lot going on with content creation, and you stream, and you're doing more of that than the average competitor. How do you fit that in?
I mean, first of all, it was a lot of first it was kind of how do you call it, draining at first, but when you go on a certain schedule, like I'm a person with a really tight schedule, So like if I get everything done, it just like I get used to it. So
Nice.
something
Yeah.
I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean that's a challenge that usually you see people go all the way into content creation or all the way into competitive. So to kind of ride the line between them, I'm sure stays busy. That's for sure. And you're not streaming those practice sessions, are you?
Oh no, we're not allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you gotta it's time you can't really dual purpose for a lot of stuff. And obviously your first game in Mayhem's first season, you absolutely went off with the Arctic 50. I think it was a 50 bomb in the first game. So
that was the original content creator Mayhem team, and that was when I was on the iPad, and that's actually something that made me motivated to come back on the phone, because a lot of people were like, a lot of drama was happening saying that was unfair letting someone like me play an iPad, especially in like a legit league like this. So like that actually kind of motivated me to like prove people wrong to play on the phone, and so that's where I am right now.
And now it's phone all day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the results are still good. So and the transition back and forth, and I think most people that I've talked to who've transitioned from iPad to iPhone, most say that like once you just commit to it, you're there in 3 or 4 weeks, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of refining, fine tuning, and making sure
it's just a mental barrier you have to get through, and then after that, when you anything that you do, when you put the time into it, as I said, anything's possible. So just gotta put the time into it.
Yeah, 100%. What device are you playing on?
I first started out with the 12 Pro Max, and then till Call of Duty announced 90 FPS or 120 FPS, I got the Red Magic, and that's where everyone transitioned to as well. Because sooner or later, all the devices are going to be like 120.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Arctic 50 is still the main go-to gun?
No, I mean Arctic 50, I'm not really a fan of it because I feel like it's just too easy to use. It's just so stupid how it is. But luckily it got nerfed, so especially on rank, it's not it. But right now my go-to, you probably was gonna ask me what my go-to gun is.
Yep.
My go-to gun is like I'm like really picky on my go-to guns. Like I like to be I don't like to stick with one thing just like until it gets nerfed and I have to get used to it. I like to choose multiple guns. But right now, like the top 2 guns I love to use is the DLQ, obviously. I'm sniping. And then probably the QQ9, because I think it's stupidly OP. And then the new PV Bison is also ridiculous as well. So
the Bison it shreds. Like the recoil is amazing.
It's legit an LMG in a sub build.
Yeah, and the crazy extent, the mag capacity is out at just crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
No recoil is full.
All right, Leader B getting bullied in chat right now, but giving us the content for the interview. We appreciate it. It's okay. I don't think you look like an egg. Getting ready to hop into our final matchup of the night. This is definitely going to be a fun one. Oh, okay. We do have a little bit of crossover in between the rosters. So it looks like S-Thug is going to be joining the former NL roster. So for those of you who don't know, effectively Zygnus and NL combined, I think primarily for the purpose of having an all 18-plus champs team. So we do have Tatio, Envoy, and DeCarla, formerly Kimwax. But then we also see S-Thug joining the team right now. Still yet to see who the 5th player is.
Let me pop on over to our official rosters list, and I will hopefully get to make a guess on who's going to be filling that spot. Never mind, Zim is currently editing it, so I couldn't tell you. Wait, what the? Mark? Oh, I'm not editor. Okay, that makes okay. This is starting to make sense. Oh, whoa, Bobby.
Yeah.
We have Fish dropping over to Zygnus Black.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I was kind of wondering whether or not Fish and Raven were underage. So I was.
Looks like that may be the case.
All right. Definitely interested. Wait, Cammy just joined. I was about to say that doesn't.
That doesn't sound right.
The username language didn't really seem to match up with the rest of the team, so I was a little confused there. We'll go ahead and take a look at the maps and the bans real quick. Game number 1 is going to be Standoff on Hardpoint, Meltdown, Search and Destroy for game number 2, Raid Domination for game 3. The banned guns, no surprise, the DRH and the QQ9s probably going to see a whole lot of Bisons. As far as the banned maps, Cygnus banning Hardpoint on Firing Range, Trovo Mayhem banning Hardpoint on Hackney Yard. So neither of those too terribly surprising. I don't know how these two teams are going to match up against each other. I don't really know how to predict this because I feel like Trovo Mayhem has played below what they're capable of. And this is also going to be like a different team comp for Cygnus, as we do have Awaken joining the roster, formerly Clashy, formerly Adapt. So you guys may know him as many different names. But the combination of Tatio, Envoy, and Kimwax, aka DeCarla, alongside Awaken and S-Thug, definitely going to make for, I feel like could be a pretty OP team.
Yeah, definitely could be. I mean, so, as you know, Bobby, I'm doing some, like, extra work with Trovo on the side for some media stuff, right? And, you know, this kind of throws my whole expectation of the night off. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. Because I put between these two teams, while individually they have pretty similar skill set, I would expect NL to be in the lead because it's pretty much the same roster as last season, and they performed well last season. Obviously now Cygnus, so that's changed, but these are some pretty serious roster change-ups between this team. So where I gave originally Cygnus the kind of edge in having that team synergy built up between Fish and Raven being on the roster, this could be massively different. I mean, S-Thug, I think, is a phenomenal player. Awaken as well, great player. I see them fitting well into Cygnus, but it just definitely kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in the way of giving them the edge as far as the team synergy goes, because this is a large chunk of your team. I mean, this is 40% of the team that has not been playing with this roster. So we'll have to see how that ends up working out.
Yep. I did see Tatio already picked up the new character skin, and it looks very similar. No, apparently I don't have it downloaded. Pain. There is a new character skin that he was wearing, or maybe he just switched characters. I don't know what it was. But
to be honest with you, it probably just put on an Urban Tracker to have the Urban Tracker.
Yeah, well, there's some CDL skins that we're getting, so that was the main reason that I pointed it out, is because we're getting CDL calling cards and also like the generic CDL skin that you have in, like, I think it started in Modern Warfare. So we got a skin that looks similar to that, but it's not like in the game yet. As we do have, my gosh, what did I do to the controls? Okay, it seems like I fixed something.
Oh, Little B with a huge nade for a double kill there onto DeCarla and Awaken.
Yeah,
pretty big start for them.
Pretty even start, to be honest. Looks like all QXRs and PP19s and a few LKs off the start. We do have Envoy on the hill, able to hold it down, wins a crucial gunfight for his team. And Tatio with 4 kills on the board are going to go ahead and make his push in as well. Slow start for Trovo Mayhem once again. Tectonic does get a big double, but immediately taken out by Tatio. And they're going to go ahead and start setting up for P2.
Yeah, as we get into P2, it's a pretty sizable lead currently for the side of Cygnus, who are approaching to be up 40 points. So, great start for them. You have Tectonic picking up a kill onto S-Thug there. Definitely think the PP19 going to be something that teams have to consider banning in the future. Awaken almost lines up a triple kill in front of him. Kind of split the difference on a couple of the bullets there. I think it might have cost him, but you know, sometimes it just happens. Man, a 60-point lead for Zygnus. It seems like it's been since the very start of the game that we've seen the Trovo Mayhem even get a chance to touch the hard point. As I say that, they just make me look like an idiot. So it's what it is. But
I mean,
do have a big clean out for Zygnus, though. Oh my goodness.
Tatio's already got full streaks right now, so he's got a Pred, he's got a cluster. This is not the start that Trovo Mayhem needed. He's laying down shots, somehow wins the gunfight over the head glitch onto Tectonic as well, and rounds the corner to take out E-Molly. We got Nero and Jesus Saves up on the hill, but they're going to have to pull off some type of crazy hill with players approaching from all directions. Nero needed that gunfight. He's going to win it, but Envoy is there. He's waiting. He takes the hard point. Only 2 or 3 seconds of hardpoint time going in for Trovo Mayhem. They are able to get the break right here, but Tatio is on the way. He's coming for blood. He's going to find it. Jesus Saves, drops once again. Finally going to get beamed off. Trovo Mayhem still not able to keep the hold right there. Little B doing everything that he can. He's got 12 kills on the board, but currently the only player in double digits or even close to it for Trovo Mayhem.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you here. I don't know how easy this is for Little B up against a team like Zygnus, who again I kind of thought may struggle a little bit in the synergy, adding not just adding, but also taking a sizable portion out of their main roster, as well as we currently have no Cheto, who has been a staple player for them in seasons past. We've actually not seen a lot of him at all this season, so I'm interested to see what's going on with that. I'll actually have to double check and see, as B sent me the roster a second ago. It does look like we still have Cheto, so I don't know, maybe just busy. You know, life happens, so we'll see moving forward who the primary sniper for this lineup is going to be, because previously it would have been Cheto or Fish. Definitely could see the potential of it being S-Thug. We've seen S-Thug snipe quite a bit in the past. As well as I feel like Awaken has some potential as a sniper as well. So definitely something we'll have to look forward into our next matchup and see. Also with the PP19 not banned, it is very possible we may just not see a sniper out of them in the next matchup. I'll have to double check what the search and destroy we have between these two teams is. It looks like we'll be getting into a search and destroy and meltdown, so definitely a map that has a lot of sniping potential over B, but a lot of PP19 potential on the A side, which was much more run and gun favored. And if we make it to a domination, it would be on raid. But let me tell you, with the way Zygnus are playing right now, it's not looking great for the Trovo Mayhem.
Yeah, we've seen a 120-point lead form right here. E-Molly and Jesus Saves stepping things up a little bit, but overall, it has just been an absolute frag fest for Zygnus. DeCarla, aka Kimwex, 20 kills. Tatio, 24. I mean, those two have made up the majority of the story for this team so far, as they are just frying. You look over on Trovo Mayhem, and obviously nobody having a terrible performance, but one player that we just haven't seen the performance out of that we expect to is Tectonic. It seems like obviously he took a little bit of a break, not a break from competitive, but played for Trovo Mayhem, so it's a little bit different playing on a content creator team than on a professional team, and just hasn't really returned to full form yet. So I think myself and a lot of other people are definitely awaiting that. 15 kills, still not a terrible performance, but this is a guy that was previously just top fragging pretty much every game that he played. So we'll see if he can step things up toward the end of this one, but things just not looking good for Trovo Mayhem. 150-point lead right here, and it continues to grow. Tatio wins the gunfight on the top side. We somehow get a break. Tectonic heard me call his name. He said, let me get a two-piece right here. Let me get the one-man break. They're going to be able to hold it down and get some scrap time right here. Not able to win on the outside of gas station. And Tatio is just a one-man wrecking crew right now. 27 kills on the board. and it looks like Zygnus getting close to bringing it back to that 150-point lead.
Yeah, it looks to be the case currently, and man, as you mentioned, Tatio and DeCarla absolutely rocking it, 27 and 25 kills respectively. Tectonic, I mean, he's not doing bad. I mean, 20 kills on the board. Little B is sitting up at 22. I mean, overall, it's really those 4 players shining right now, 2 for each team. Awaken as well does have 21, but certainly have E-Molly struggling a little bit right now, down at 14. Nero is approaching 20. And Jesus Saves You is also down at 13. Not the most comfortable position to be in right now, but definitely still doable, specifically looking into Search and Destroy and Domination, right? Because this is basically over. If we're gonna be real here.
Honestly, I don't really understand how the gap is as big as it is, given the kill disparity. Like, there's a little bit of a kill disparity, but it doesn't look like 180 points worth of kill disparity, you know? Like, they've played the frags relatively even throughout, and it just seems like every time Trovo Mayhem gets people set up for a point, they just get insta-broken, and immediately it turns into Zygnus snowballing more and more points, so... I don't know what type of change needs to be made there, but it definitely felt like the game should have been closer than it was.
Yeah, I mean, kill-wise, you're not wrong. I mean, it wasn't a huge deficit on the side of the Trovo Mayhem, but the points, as far as the actual hardpoint score was, 250 to 63, and a lot of that can be choked up to the fact that Nero was the top scorer as far as hardpoint time for the team at 35, E-Molly with 33, and then it drops down to Little B 21, Tectonic 10, Jesus Saves You 8. You look over at the side of Zygnus, DeCarla 1:07, Tatio 1:08, Envoy 253 on the hardpoint, Awaken 58, and S-Thug, least time on the team, still 5 seconds more than the top player over on the side of Trovo Mayhem. So something definitely to keep an eye on as we move forward. This team seems to mesh pretty well right off the bat for the side of Zygnus. And as we move into Search and Destroy, it'll definitely be exciting to see if the Trovo Mayhem can bounce back and push us to a game 3. But Zygnus, I mean, they seem like they are all just on their A game today.
Yep, it's definitely. I've got a feeling the Search and Destroy is going to be a lot closer. That was just not. I don't know. That was so weird to break down because I'm trying to think of what it could have really come down to, especially with the way that hardpoints change and become so kill dependent. All I can really think of is Trovo Mayhem giving up easy breaks and just not really capitalizing on the people that they have on the hill. So we'll see if they can turn things around in Search and Destroy. Obviously, you got Little B on the sniper for Trovo Mayhem. Over on Zygnus, if I had to guess, probably S-Thug. We've seen him using the Arctic 50 in past seasons. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing how the Search and Destroy on Meltdown is going to play out. And this is definitely going to be a fun game, too, to watch.
Taking down some notes here. But, yeah, I mean, Zygnus on their A game, Trovo Mayhem definitely struggling quite a bit, and it's not what I would have expected having, seen their roster coming into this season. I mean, there's definitely some big names on this team, even just in the likes of Tectonic and Little B. Nero has had some pretty solid performances as well. E-Molly, picked up from what was formerly 8 Kings, has had some kind of in-the-middle performances, but in the past, Jesus Saves You is actually kind of one of those players that I looked at and was like, hey, this kid, he's on a team that maybe just doesn't play the best together, but his skill is there. Specifically, we've seen him snipe in the past, so maybe that'll be a little bit of an edge that Trovo Mayhem have going into the Search and Destroy, because again, we have at least currently for Cygnus, no Cheto and no Fish. Obviously, as Fish is moving down to the Cygnus Black roster, or moving, I guess, parallel, I should say, to the Cygnus Black roster. So, I don't know. It's just not what I would expect out of Trovo Mayhem. And again, I'm hoping that Jesus Saves You will step it up a little bit for the Search and Destroy matchup. And I'd love to see this go to a game 3. I mean, again, this is like one of the exciting matchups of the night that I was looking forward to, and NL just Cygnus just, I mean, kind of walked through Trovo Mayhem.
Yep. We just got one more player we need readied up, and then we'll be good to go. And we actually got everybody ready, so I think, assuming we got our screenshots, interesting. Getting ready to hop into the next one. Search and Destroy on Meltdown. This is one of the classic Champs Search and Destroy maps. So, whenever I think of Search and Destroy in Champs, I think of Meltdown and Standoff, just because I feel like those were the two where you had the crazy performances. I think of Standoff primarily because of Moralto's wallbangs, because some of the wallbangs he hit against Tribe were just absolutely. I don't think I've seen him hit any of those in Mobile Mayhem at all, and he was just hitting them like they were nothing. So it's always a fun one to watch. This could be potentially our last game of the night. It is 10:18, so I wouldn't be super upset if it was. And
I'm pretty tired too. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that one. It's been a long day. Been a long day. We are getting into our Search and Destroy on Meltdown again. Based on the Cygnus roster, I almost wouldn't be shocked if we just completely forewent the sniper. We do actually have Tio of all people with the sniper out currently, and well, it says he has the Locust, but I physically see the PP-19, so we'll have to see. Not entirely sure yet, but it does look like Tio making the A side push. I'm actually a little bit shocked that the rest of the team is going B, and they have opted to go with no sniper. So this is definitely a big bit of opportunity for Little B to take an advantage. I'm actually surprised that he didn't just straight go B side first. I mean, typically, if you were going to send one person one way or another, your sniper would go B, scout it out, and then call the team to rotate over. And while kills are going back and forth, I mean, it's certainly looking like a potential Cygnus win here. It is Tectonic, the last member alive currently. He has the LK-24 out, so definitely some potential to beam somebody off of head glitches. He also as well has the PP-19 as well. Does hear the rotation from DeCarla there, but unable to find the bullets to connect, as well as I think he took a couple shots from I don't remember who the last, I think it might have been S-Thug, but I would have to double check. But that is round one going over to the side of Cygnus.
All right. And we see the full-on B push for Cygnus right here, or at least the B defense. We do have Nero waiting on the backside. Beautiful shots onto Envoy, very much needed, but S-Thug waiting with the sniper on the other side. Gets the follow-up on the E-Molly as well. The Carla takes out Legacy right there. It's going to be the original duo. Little B and Tectonic trying to clutch up in the 2v4. Little B hits the initial shot onto Awaken. Tectonic going to go ahead and hit the reload on the LK right there, trying to see if he can get eyes onto one of these Cygnus players. Here's the bomb being planted, but not able to land shots onto S-Thug. Doesn't really want to challenge the sniper right there. And we do see the challenge going in. Very nearly a sick double kill for Tectonic, but not quite enough to make it happen. And that will give Cygnus the 2-0 lead.
As Ignis off to a great start. What could have been a sick double kill for Tectonic ended up being a sick double kill for S-Thug, who, potentially may be the sniper for this lineup. He was one of the players that I mentioned at the beginning as being a potential sniper with the likes of Cheto and Fish missing. Actually in a great spot overlooking A for the team there. Gonna find the kill on to Little B, so Triple Mayhem are now down their sniper, who was up in the sniper's nest, and it looks like a free bomb plant is going to come over to Zygnus. S-Thug just narrowly missing the shot there. We did have a 1-for-1 trade as Tatio is down for the side of Zygnus. But with 35 seconds on the board and a lot of bodies to kill, S-Thug is nasty. Oh my goodness.
Tectonic picked up the snipers, and he's going to try to see if he can pull off a miracle right here. He's got kill number 1. DeCarlo around the back side, waiting patiently. 15 seconds to work with. Awaken waiting right there. Tectonic, unfortunately, going to hit the hit marker as Awaken unprones at the perfect time. It's going to be now a 3-0 lead for Zygnus. And things, once again, not looking great for Trovo Mayhem, who's just not really been able to get a whole lot of momentum. They've been able to find a few frags here and there, but especially with S-Thug sniping the way that he's been, 7 kills on the board, they've got to find something to counter what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, S-Thug is killing it right now. They don't seem to have any way to get to him. I mean, we even had a rotation attempt to come behind there, but S-Thug made the double kill look pretty simple. He picked up the kill mid through the sniper's nest window and was able to safely make the rotation over to stairs. He finds one there as well. That's 8 kills on the board for him. Almost able to find the head there as well. He's going to make it out on 12 HP. It is a 3 versus 3 between these two teams. Will be taking a couple bullets there. Going to make it out alive temporarily, but Tatio then is going to make the rotation and find him. S-Thug finds Tectonic mid. DeCarla finds the kill on the E-Molly as well, and that's a 4-0 lead now for the side of Zygnus. Not looking good for the side of Trovo Mayhem at all.
Yep. 4-0 lead right here. As we do see Zygnus once again full sending on over the B site. This has been their go-to. And we do see Trovo Mayhem defending over onto A. And wait, yes. Okay. I don't know why. It's too late. I got tripped up. Envoy's gonna get the plan over on B. Lots of nades going over top, but no kills. S-Thug finds first blood again. E-Molly's gonna drop Little B, taking out S-Thug. Even though they are down a player, if there's anybody you want taken out, it's definitely gonna be S-Thug. So they're going to try to see if they can get the push in, but Little B getting pushed by Tatio. Legacy with the refrag. Kimwex down on the bottom side, waiting for the push on in. Envoy waiting on the opposite side, and they are pretty content to wait for that mid push. Envoy's going to be able to win the gunfight right there. Tectonic takes out DeCarla, but Envoy, the gun skill, too clean. A 5-0 lead for Zygnus right here, and this could be the end of a very, very rough night for Trovo Mayhem if they don't pull something off right now.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have expected to see Trovo Mayhem get 6-0'd. I mean, again, Zygnus has proven time and time again to be a strong team. Do have a couple kills trading back and forth there, but with the PP19, it is going to be Tatio picking up a double kill there, and just like that, Little B, the last remaining member of the Trovo Mayhem, starting to look like it's going to be a 6-0 win. They'll be up in the sniper's nest. Bomb down well in the hands of 3 members of Zygnus. They look perfectly content with just camping this bomb out. And, all they have to do is play time. And with 3 members alive, Lil B has to make the rotation into essentially the Viper's den here. He does find one, almost able to find another, misses the shot. DeCarla is going to pick up the kill, and that's going to be the 6-0 win for the side of Zygnus Esports.
Yeah, that was a tough game to say the least for Trovo Mayhem, as they do drop right there. S-Thug just had one heck of a game. My gosh. Couldn't seem to do any wrong. 10-4 And I mean, that it wasn't like everybody on Trovo Mayhem had a bad game, but there was just no round where they really seemed to be in control of everything. Obviously, Nero down at 1-6 just not going to make the cut. So obviously, they're going to have to get back to the drawing board and get back to whatever it is that they need to do. But a lot of work for this team to do before they are champs ready, as Zygnus, especially with this roster change, looking like they are in prime position to dominate. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for the stream. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the follow button or subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like. We'll be back on Thursday night. Same time, same place. Until then. Wait. I never finished the interview. Do we finish the interview now? You know,
Pretty long interview.
If you want to see the rest of the interview from Little B, whose team just lost 6-0, or
rude.
Wait, yeah, we'll play that.
So it's unlikely that somebody nerfs the DLQ, or excuse me, bans the DLQ as their weapon choice. But if that happens, if you just absolutely shred a couple games in a row, and they're like, oh god, we got to stop Little B. What are you playing with as a sniper if the other team bans the DLQ?
Oh, I'll hop on the Locust, no problem. Like,
Nice.
like Mo Mayhem. Like, I'm so upset that they banned respawn sniping and they banned operators. I don't know what these rules, like, what they're heading to, but like, respawn sniping was such a great thing I actually love to do. Like, I thought I was gonna, like, you know, pop off and show some of my skills for respawn sniping, but unfortunately it got banned. Well, that's when I used the Locust. So if they ban the DOQ, I still use the Locust, no problem.
Nice. And then, you know, obviously for the people watching, so many people are interested in, like, how do they build up their skills? How do they get into the community to start competing? So what's the tip for those that are trying to look into competing, trying to get into the comp scene, trying to join a team? Any suggestions for them?
So first of all, you already know, like, this is a really big challenge. Like, obviously for me being here, it was not that easy, just to, like, you know, where I am right now.
Yep.
You got to put a lot of time and effort into it as well. And a good tip where to start from is, like, find a group of like find like four committed group of people, and just keep playing with them and see where you guys can head off. If you guys can commit, put the time into it, and sooner or later you guys will be able to, you know, compete with the top dogs.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Because the teamwork, communication, kind of having a feel for the other players on the team is such a factor in competition. Trying to go it alone and hope you get picked up by somebody is that's a much more rough road than if you've got a team and you can really perform and kind of show your skills together. You know, that it's a higher likelihood that an org is going to pick you up maybe as a whole team. You know? Yeah,
it's super rare to get picked up as an individual player, because it's just called, at the end of this is Call of Duty. It's not like other games like CS or anything like that. COD is like just like a more of a team-based game. You need to have that team chem going, and you know, it's not only like a single person's game. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think about the adjustment to the hardpoint spawns from I guess it's a couple of months ago now?
It's ridiculous. Don't even want to talk about it. I don't know what COD Mobile is doing. Hardpoint is just unplayable. It's literally who can win their gunfights, and it's just nonstop. No strategy at all. Just, you know, iron fist to the point, and whoever wins their gunfights win the point. It's not like, it's ridiculous. I don't know what they're thinking.
I think they're trying to give people exciting, like consistent, exciting gunfights in ranked, but for comp, I agree. I mean, I'm sure people are getting tired of hearing me say it, but I think it takes away the team strategy as much and team positioning requirements as much. It kind of removes the anchor role from the game mode completely. And I think like that spawn control is such a huge part of hardpoint, and that's kind of gone right now.
Nope. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's kind of existence, but it's just not it's not that crucial as much as, like, you know, getting the last 10 to 20 seconds.
Yeah. So what are some of your goals for content creation for competition for 2021?
So 2021, obviously hit 100K subscribers. Try to get that huge you know, mark.
Get that play button.
Like, yeah, get that play button, exactly. And for comp, you know, win this 2021, bring the dub for Trovo Mayhem. become back-to-back NA champs and maybe world champions.
Yeah, I am so excited for the World Championships because I mean regionals in last year's were so heated. Like the competition was so much fun to watch, and I mean like that's where so many people that are in Mobile Mayhem that are kind of on the come up with their YouTube, like so many people made the name in champs last year.
Yeah.
And I mean EU, NA, like there's not a region where there's slouches. Everybody's at the top of their game at this point. It's exciting. Interested to see how Hardpoint goes, but yeah, it should be awesome competition. So yeah, that's great, man. And who do you think? Do you have any picks that are serious contenders that you're looking forward to facing in regionals or even before that for champs this year?
So obviously our rivals from last year was Nova. It is going to be probably again this year because they're like pretty good roster, pretty solid roster, especially the one they have right now. Props on them for making a good roster like that. Nova right now, there's potential of Tribe, but anything is possible because there's other teams that was never in the league, and then last minute they come into they're built last minute like an all-star roster, and then they compete. So we're not sure if that's going to come out, but right now those are the two teams we're looking at.
All right, and then last question, it's two-part. Is who is your favorite COD Mobile creator to watch stream or watch their videos? So that's the first one. I'll let you answer that one before the second part of that question.
All right, first I gotta give it to the two OGs that I knew back at I just always hanging out with back in right when the game came out. Bobby Bots and Noah Plays, two of the chillest, best content creators that I enjoyed interacting with them. Thanks for Bob. Thanks for both of them. My content creator career started because they motivated me to start it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby and Noah were the first two people I started watching in COD Mobile as well, and yeah, I mean, what they're accomplishing in content is something that's pretty incredible. And then the second part of that question is, who is the funniest COD Mobile person on Twitter? Who's the must follow? Who's the must follow on Twitter?
Oh, obviously my boy Zim, funniest, most toxic. Best person out there. Super funny to follow. He's such a troll. I like to mess around with him a lot, but he's a really chill dude. Obviously, Darian, Zim. Who else?
I think Zim is probably one of my favorite in any event that I'm lucky enough and have the opportunity to play in. Zim is my favorite person to see in the event, man. He's fun to have around.
And then obviously, yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, who else would be funny,
Hey, yeah, you heard it here. Go follow Zim on Twitter. Darian Zim.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I gotta cut the interview right there. Who else is? Are you kidding me? I don't get mentioned. I appreciate him saying that me and Noah are his favorite content creators. How am I not gonna get a mention for one of the funniest, if not the funniest, in COD Mobile Twitter? I take great offense to that, and I will be speaking out about it very soon.